2020. Texas Rangers prominence starts with baseball's newest cathedral. 2021, where fans make memories watching America's pastime in luxury. 2022, the lineup is crawling with superstars.
Simeon, Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia.
2023, and the rotation seeks domination. This team will contend for years to come. And their manager is capable of bringing the Rangers' first trophy to Arlington.
Well, it is a new season and renewed hope with this Rangers team. Some familiar faces in that clubhouse ready to go on opening day. A lot of new faces as well. But more than anything else, it is the spirit of hope right now around this Rangers ball club. Texas Rangers baseball on Bally Sports Southwest is presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. It is opening day. The Philadelphia Phillies and the Texas Rangers. The roof is open. Overcast skies today, but otherwise a very pleasant day and a great day. And is there anything other than a great day for opening day baseball here at Globe Life Field? I'm Dave Raymond with CJ Nikowski. And this is something else. There's nothing like it. Players have said it, CJ. You know about it as well, but there's still always a little bit of butterflies on a day like today.
There always is, and expectations are higher than they've been in a really long time. 2016 feels like a long time ago. The Rangers are ready to reassert their dominance in the American League West and find their way back to the postseason. It starts today.
And they've got a good one going for them today on the mound. But what about all the activity this offseason again for the Rangers? It started with the hiring of Bruce Bochy, 3 World Series titles to his credit. A trade with the Braves to get Jake Odorizzi to help the rotation. Martin Perez accepted that qualifying offer to assure his return. Then Mike Maddox brought back into the fold as a pitching coach again. The big news, it all centered around Jacob deGrom in early December. Andrew Heaney followed a week after that, and it was obvious the Rangers were going all in on pitching right after Christmas. Nathan Eovaldi, the final ad in that regard, and that's a big one for this Rangers team. But again, when we talk about where this team is headed, CJ, there's no doubt. If you're talking about pitching, it starts with Jacob deGrom.
It does. I mean, this offseason, as you just laid out, it was one after another after another. But the highlight was Jacob deGrom. Why? Because he's had an unbelievable career, one of the most dominant pitchers in the game. And if we take a look at his active ranks right now, this is a minimum of 1,000 innings pitched. And you see it there, the whip, the fielding independent pitching, both first, the ERA second, the strikeouts per 9. The swing and miss game for Jacob deGrom is exceptional. His ability to fill up the strike zone, one of the best in the game, and important for a Ranger staff that struggled with that a year ago.
He is the marquee name, and he is the man who will lead this rotation and set the tone beginning this afternoon. The lanky right-hander from DeLand, Florida, and a pedigree and a reputation that precedes him. 2 Cy Young awards, a Rookie of the Year award as well, and a guy who seems quite excited to be in a Rangers uniform and to be the man. He's happy to take this lead role and try and lead this team back to the promised land. He's got a great supporting cast with him, and if he pitches anything today like we saw in spring training, the Rangers should be in pretty good shape as he was hitting 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, he looked really good. He looked very good at the end of the season when he pitched in the postseason, probably winning hearts of Rangers fans right now with his warm-up song, A Little Simple Man. Certainly that is Jacob deGrom. Simple, but he is dominant. And we look forward to watching the fastball slider combination that he has. And we take a look at the 11 starts in the regular season a year ago, and those were pretty good numbers, 64 1/3. That was the second half of the season. He finished it strong. How about 102 strikeouts to just 8 walks? That is absolutely absurd. That was Jacob deGrom in the regular season last year, his final one with the New York Mets. He is ours now as we take a look at the pitch arsenal for the big right-hander. The fastball averaging 99 miles an hour to go along with that dominant slider that I talked about. And you can see it there in that little graph. That is mostly what you see, fastball, slider. There is a changeup. There is a curveball in there as well for Jacob deGrom, but he will be lighting up the radar gun and getting lots of swings and misses with that slider. How about the Ranger defense behind Jacob deGrom? deGrom here this afternoon. Josh Smith, Adolis Garcia, and Robbie Grossman left to right in the outfield. In the infield, it's Josh Young, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, and Nathaniel Lowe. And behind the plate, we saw it 102 times last year, is Jonah Heim.
All right, well, deGrom's ready to go. The Phillies are set as well, the defending National League champs, and they bring in a big name at the top of their lineup. Trey Turner at shortstop. Kyle Schwarber, the DH. JT Realmuto, the best catcher in the game, perhaps batting third. It's Hall, Castellanos, and Stott in the middle. Alec Bohm at third. Jake Cave in left field. Brandon Marsh will roam center field today and bat ninth for the Phillies. They've got a lot on their minds as well today. We're set, and here we go, as deGrom gets a strike on the first offering in a Texas Rangers uniform.
And big velocity right away for Jacob deGrom. And what you're going to notice, of course, we'll get into it, a really nice, crisp pace with the pitch clock.
0-2 as he goes with a slider and jumps ahead of a terrific hitter. And Trey Turner, brought in an 11-year deal by Philadelphia. The 0-2 got him swinging. Welcome to Texas, Jacob deGrom.
That did not take long at all. 3 pitches. I mentioned the slider. That has been the best pitch for him. When you look at the strikeouts, 60 of his 102 strikeouts last year all came on that slider.
3 pitches, 3 strikes, and off we go. Now Kyle Schwarber. And he'll take very high. Fastball there at 99.
Let's take a look at this 0-2 pitch once again from Jacob deGrom, his first strikeout as a Ranger. It's that slider that starts in the strike zone and finishes way out. You don't throw a better 0-2 pitch than that.
Well, to Schwarber, and he'll lift this one high in the air. Not going to carry for him. Garcia takes care of it. 2 up, 2 down. And it brings up JT Realmuto. Now we have a full house here this afternoon. And there's an energy, there's a buzz through Globe Life Field today. First pitch on the way to Realmuto. 100 miles per hour for strike 1. Yeah, that's a scene. They removed the lid about an hour ago. So 1 strike pitch. Oh, another BB at 100. That one just missed.
I didn't think we were going to see the roof open. Of course, it's overcast. This is fantastic. Great atmosphere here. And it is always fun when we have the roof open at Globe Life Field.
Bouncer wide of the bag for strike 2. And a great play by our ball girl down the left field line. Bruce Bochy the other day was campaigning for the roof open, the 1-2, and that's downstairs. He said, I want to see this place with this thing open, and I'd love to see it on opening day. There was obviously threatening weather in the forecast, but we're fortunate that we have it today. 2-2 on the way. Strike 3 called. 101 on the corner, and Jacob deGrom with a 10-pitch first inning. How about them apples? Great start for the Texas Rangers, and now offensively, Semien, Seager, and Lowe coming up. Smith in left field, batting ninth. We'll take a look at Aaron Nola today for Philadelphia.
32 starts last year in the regular season, 5 more in the postseason. He was excellent for this Philadelphia Phillies team. He is a free agent at the end of the year. They tried to get him locked up before spring training ended. It did not happen, and they would certainly like to keep him in that Philly uniform. Pitch arsenal from Aaron Nola gets you a 4-seam fastball, curveball, 2-seamer, changeup, and a cutter in there as well. All of those pitches were excellent for him, but especially as we look at the top 3 overall, just a .226 batting average against for Aaron Nola.
His first offering off the plate for ball 1 to Marcus Semien. His 10th opening day start in his career. 1-0. That is off the plate. He has more opening day experience than any active Rangers player. Again, his career with the White Sox, longtime Oakland Athletic. 1 year with the Blue Jays and now in year 2 as a Ranger, and he fouls this one away for strike 1. 32 years old. At the bottom of your screen, you see that pitch clock timer, pitch timer, if you will, in the middle of the diamond. Pitchers have 15 seconds to deliver a pitch, and that one catches a corner. 2-2. If there are runners on base, they get 20 seconds. But there's a requirement that the hitters also must be engaged with a pitcher. And that's by 9 seconds as this one fouled away. 9 seconds on the pitch clock. Once it gets to 8 seconds, if the hitter hasn't looked out at the pitcher, then he's in violation of the pitch timer and a strike is called.
It's a good look there as far as what the batters get. 2 clocks there. Look for your lefties and your righties, so they don't have to look and try to find that thing. Pretty obvious for them to see it. And we got a taste of it in spring training. I thought things moved along pretty well. There were plenty of violations as anticipated early on, but we worked through it, and players worked through it, pitchers worked through it, and I really do think fans will enjoy it. We're having a chance to talk to Rob Manfred in the 3rd inning. Look forward to kind of getting his thoughts on it as well. But there's a good look. Once everybody's back in place on a foul ball like that, that's when the 15-second clock starts.
2-2. Marcus stays alive. We just saw DeGrom work through the top of the Phillies order on 10 pitches. And this will be the 8th pitch of this at bat already to Marcus Semien. Pretty impressive start for DeGrom. And now the 2-2 pitch. And Marcus nubs this one out in front of the plate, and that will cue foul. So we'll do it again.
Well, I think the expectations for Marcus Semien are pretty high this year. Corey Seager as well. I talked about it in the pregame. They both mentioned the difference of this spring training compared to last spring training for them. New guys signing big contracts, coming to a new organization, got 3 weeks of spring training essentially after the lockout, and it probably felt rushed. Didn't really have a lot of time to settle in, and I think we're all expecting a better start to the season for both of the big bats at the top of the lineup.
Nola to the plate, and this one fouled back. Yeah, I think you're onto something. They certainly, if spring training was any indication, there's definitely a greater sense of comfort for both Semien and Seager. This will be the 10th pitch of this first at bat, and Marcus hooks it on the ground to third base. The throw from Bone in time, and Marcus retired, 1 away.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies defense here this afternoon. Behind Aaron Nola, Jake Cave, Brandon Marsh, and Nick Castellanos in the outfield left to right. In the infield for Rob Thompson's club, it's Alec Bohm. We just saw him there. Trey Turner and Bryson Stott up the middle. Derek Hall getting an opportunity over at first base, and JT Realmuto is the catcher.
Seager takes off the plate. Remember Corey Seager being an aggressive hitter last season. 33 home runs, a career best for him. And he normally doesn't wait around, and there he goes after the slider down in the dirt. 1-1. That's about as extreme of a shift as you're going to see against a left-handed hitter this year, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is nice that that shift has gone. The only thing that might get a little wacky, any team can take their left fielder and put him in short right field if they want to. And there were some teams that did that in spring training. We may see that a couple of times this year where you essentially only have 2 traditional outfielders, but no infielders allowed in the outfield. And Corey Seager is a guy that we expect will take full advantage of that. He had an issue last year. A lot of hits were taken away, the second most in baseball for Corey Seager, losing hits to the shift.
3-1 from Nola, and that is ball 4. Seager draws a walk in his first plate appearance of the season.
Pretty ironic at bat right there. You have Aaron Nola's one of the best strike throwers in all of baseball, has been over the last couple of years. You get an ultra aggressive hitter in Corey Seager who doesn't like to wait around. And yeah, if you had that, it was probably laying some pretty heavy odds that Corey Seager was going to walk in the first inning.
A runner on for Nathaniel Lowe, coming off a tremendous season of his own last year. First pitch on the way to Nathaniel, and that one finds the corner, strike 1. Silver Slugger is an American League first baseman. Hit 300, 302 in fact. And goes after this one, but just missed. Got underneath and pops it up left side of the infield. 2 away.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our Ford leaderboard. And looking specifically here at Adolis Garcia and Marcus Semien. Of course, Julio Rodriguez, Kyle Tucker on this list as well. 25 home runs and 25 stolen bases this year. There's a lot of talk about potential 30-30 guys, and maybe even this year some 40-40 candidates out there with the bigger bases. Will we see more stolen bases? Julio Rodriguez is one that could be tagged for a potential 40-40 season. Maybe Ronald Acuna Jr. down in Atlanta, but this guy right here in that 25-25 group a year ago, I think 30-30 seems reasonable for Adolis.
Seager with a lead, and there's a strike to Garcia. Yeah, I mean, I think he could do it. I think that's it's a lot to ask of anyone, but well, he's got the physical tools, and he does seem to be a little bit of a different hitter this year. One strike pitch, that's outside. At least his spring training was any indication. Garcia is focused on being a little more selective, a little more patient at the plate. Led the team with well, I guess ended up with 9 walks, which second on the team. Grossman surged past him on the couple exhibitions we had here against Kansas City. The 1-1 pitch, and that's a good one. Strike 2 call.
Yeah, he said he was working on it in spring training, trying to be more patient, trying not to chase out of the zone. That was an issue for him last year. 37% was his chase rate, significantly above league average. So trying to stay in the zone a little bit more means a few more called strikes for Garcia in that process.
1-2. It's upstairs. Hasn't swung the bat yet, right? In this at bat, that's kind of unusual.
And that's the other part of it. When you look at Garcia's year last year, we talk about Corey Seager and how much he swings. Garcia was right there with him. About a percentage point difference between how often he swung the bat compared to Corey Seager.
And he takes strike 3 looking. Garcia goes down on strikes, and the Rangers leave a man in the first. DeGrom back out for a second inning of work, no score. For the better.
Time now for our Shiner Box Spotlight as we take a look at today's starter, Jacob deGrom, and the fastball usage and velocity. How about that average velocity over the course of his career? It has gotten better as he has gone along. He was always a hard thrower. Go back to 2016 when he was sitting at 94 miles an hour compared to last year all the way up to 99 miles an hour for deGrom.
He jumps ahead of Derek Hall, 0-2. Hall, the first baseman for the Phillies. The news for Philadelphia coming out of spring was the injury to Rhys Hoskins. That one fouled off. Hoskins would have been their first baseman on opening day. 30-homer guy. And they are going to have to adjust. 0-2 pitch. And this one got in on the hands, popped up, third base, foul ground, and Young is there, one away. Now we check in with Emily Jones.
Well, you've got guys like Josh Young, Josh Smith making their first opening day start, but whether it's your first or your 10th, like Marcus Semien, the guys talking about playing defense behind Jacob deGrom, and you could sense the excitement, how stoked they are to have this guy on their team to work behind him. Like I said, doesn't matter if it's your first or your 10th, having a guy like Jacob deGrom on the mound is a big deal to the guys behind him.
It is, and then the next one's following, right, with Nate Eovaldi and Martin and John Gray. A lot of good happening here for the Rangers.
This one flipped down the first baseline, stays fair for Castellanos, and he cruises to second with a one-out double.
Castellanos last year, power was down for him. He gets a first pitch fastball and a pretty good one located away, and you can kind of see him catch it off the end of the bat. Did not hit this particularly hard, but loops it down that right field line for an easy double.
So the Phillies have the first runner in scoring position today. And Bryson Stott, the batter, he'll take a fastball right down the middle for a strike. Let's see what Stott did last season in just shy of 130 games. Kind of a slow spring as well for Stott. And he's very late on that one. My goodness. 0-2.
As if he was sitting on a slider there, that swing. Not a pretty one from Bryson Stott.
Tell you one thing, you have no choice right now than to throw another fastball.
Or tie him in knots with that nasty slider. Who knows? But I think that's a good play.
Look at the runner. Now the 0-2. And that one at 100 miles per hour.
The thing about Jacob deGrom's 100, it is free and easy. The ball comes out of his hand so well, so effortless. It's got tremendous carry on it. And if there's such a thing as 100 miles an hour jumping on you quicker than maybe expected, that is what Jacob deGrom brings to the table.
Count stays 1-2.
Check this out. Last season for deGrom, 80 pitches, 100 miles an hour or harder, 7th most in baseball after he got back from the IL on August 2nd, topping out at 102. You usually see relievers near the top of that list.
Yeah, the count stays 1-2. Okay, so that was, you know, in shortened time for deGrom last year. Do you know how many pitches the Rangers as a team threw 100 or better last year?
Think about who hit 100 miles an hour last year.
You're on the right track.
I'll say one just for fun.
Two pitches. 2 pitches at 100 or better last year. The 1-2 pitch fouled away. So the Rangers have already demolished that number from last season this year, and we're 4 outs into the season. deGrom has thrown 11 pitches this inning, 10 of which have been strikes.
And there's probably only one person in this building not all that impressed today. So we saw Nolan Ryan come out. It's the other day at the yard. Saw Tom House, of course, the former pitching coach, tweeted out the other day that he felt that Nolan would have sat in today's era 105 to 107.
Yeah. I mean, it's
the radar guns are different. The technology's different. The way that they capture velocity. We can trust his opinion.
2-2 from deGrom, and that is strike 3 called. Stott trying to get out of the way, and that one caught the inside corner. And I will say this, Jeff Nelson looks like he's giving a little on that edge of the plate.
I would agree. And when you learn about a strike zone, you pound a spot where maybe you get an umpire who's expanding a little bit. And that has been established. What we always talk about is wanting consistency from our umpires, and that has been consistent so far. And that's good news for Jacob deGrom, because that is the side of the play where he dominates. Away to righties and into lefties. We call the glove side with both the fastball and the slider.
Well, that time the slider to Alec Bohm. This is wide. Bohm making his third straight opening day roster. Take a fastball away. 2-0. So deGrom with a perfect first inning. He has 3 strikeouts so far as he works in the second. Now, he's not likely to go real deep into today's game. 2-0. And that's in the air. Out to right field. Long run for El Bombi near the wall, and that is gone. And Alec Bohm has put the Phillies on the board first. It's 2-0.
Well, it's a little bit of a shock right here. Alec Bohm gets 99 miles an hour away, but elevated and is able to get the barrel to it. That is not an easy fastball to get to. See how the hands still come in, even though that pitch was middle away, close to his body, and strong enough to hit that into the Ranger bullpen. That is now the first run that Jacob deGrom has ever allowed in what is his 4th opening day start in his career.
Gone 17 shutout in his previous opening day starts. Bohm gets the Phillies on the board. 2-0 the score. Now the 1-strike pitch to Cave is up and out. Here comes a 1-1. So deGrom, his manager Bruce Bochy said 4, maybe 5 innings. What he would have liked from him today, the 2-1, and that is high. Ball 3. That could also, I mean, the pitch count itself can dictate how many innings we'll get. The 3-1. And there is strike 2 on Cave. All right, he's ready to go, and here comes the payoff to Cave. And he got him looking. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Jacob deGrom. But the Phillies draw first blood this afternoon. Alec Bohm with a 2-run homer. We played 1.5.
Bat here on opening day, and he is in our Chevy Under the Hood. Favorite baseball movie, The Sandlot, biggest fear, snakes, and if he had to pick one for the rest of his life, salt or pepper, it's pepper. Guys, Chevy Under the Hood is back. I can't wait to bring you guys all the ridiculousness that I asked these guys in the clubhouse. It was fun.
I mean, you got to say pepper. You're in Texas. We're talking brisket. You cover it heavy in black pepper. Of course he's going to say pepper. And I'm with him on the snakes. No, thank you.
Yeah, snakes don't really bug me. Spiders, not a fan. Not a fan. Here we go. Bottom of the second. Young will lead it off. And he goes right after the first pitch. Hits it hard out to center field, but Marsh is there. One pitch, one out in the second. What a message now from Champion Energy.
High knees, high knees, proud chest, high knees, proud chest, high knees.
Got a little of CJ's morning workout. Jonah Heim steps in now. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Nola's first offering, and well, he just misses off that outside corner. To Jonah Heim, gets the start today behind the plate. We anticipate that he'll get the lion's share of those duties this year, and he gets this one straight up in the air back of second base. And Marsh had a little trouble there for a moment picking that one out of the sky, but ultimately takes care of it. Heim retired, 2 away.
That's a pretty good sky to hide a baseball in right now with the roof open. It's about the color of a baseball. And Brandon Marsh, former Angel, he's been here before, but he may not have played a game with the roof open. Eventually he picks it up and makes the easy catch. But you can see the conversation he's having with Trey Turner. Just kind of let him know it's helpful if you point it out. Days like this can be a little bit difficult to pick up those pop-ups.
So Robbie Grossman, the hitter, and he takes strike one. Grossman in right field today. Now we will see him predominantly in left field this season. Switch hitter. And he'll take low. But today, Rangers outfield just juggled a little bit with Leody Taveras beginning the season on the injured list. 1-1. That's strike two. Grossman, a veteran hitter and a guy who brings a little bit different style to his at-bats than I think have been customary around here, and that is to say he's quite selective. 1-2 offering, and he takes strike three called. He'll go down looking, and that is Nola's second strikeout of the game. Rangers go in order. We have played 2 this afternoon. Rangers trail 2-0. You can't ask for a whole lot more than this. What a day. 2-0 Phillies on top. And We're pleased to be joined in the booth right now by the Commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred. We appreciate you taking the time. Opening day, as I understand it, kind of a big day in the sport, so it's awfully kind of you to sit with us for a moment. You've got a lot to be really excited about right now. These rules seem to have really made an impact.
Yeah, we're very pleased with the way it went during spring training. We think it produced what we were looking for, what our fans wanted in terms of a brisker game, more action in the game, emphasis on the athleticism of our great players. So really pleased with how it's gone so far.
So this was not about you necessarily wanting in-game interviews to be shorter.
Yeah, you know, they actually warned me, you may have to commit to more than half an inning.
Marsh trying to stretch it out for a triple, and he does. And the Phillies have their third extra base hit already in this game, and a man at third base to start the inning. Yeah, that's right. I mean, CJ is always finding the silver lining to these
right.
things,
Right.
trying to get you out of these quicker. But you know, any unintended results so far that you've seen?
Well, you know, we played 8,000 games with these rules in the minor leagues. We had a pretty good idea about what we thought we would see, and it turned out to be correct. I'll tell you the one that was a surprise when we first started with it is that the bigger bases was enough different to motivate the clubs to try to steal more bases and for the success rate to go up. We really didn't expect that.
So a 40-40 player certainly would be fun. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, and some of the great young stars to show off that athleticism. Same thing with the shift. You guys have talked a lot about how that gives the ability for some of these players to show off their athleticism, as we see that one squeak down the right field line. Jacob deGrom, a little bit of bad luck in this inning.
Oh, back-to-back triples. Oh, the Phillies up 3-0.
But something I wanted to ask you about, Morgan Sword did unbelievable work, and everybody that works with him to get all of us prepared. All the presentations that we got from a broadcasting side have been excellent. He was very thorough.
Thank you.
And one of the things he said when we're asked about the pitch clock, he said, I will guarantee you a game will end on a pitch clock violation. He said it, and we saw it in spring training pretty incredibly. It's probably the one thing that I think fans are a little bit concerned about, ending a game. Ninth inning, or losing the big moments that we have. I know you love the end of the WBC. It was incredible. Nobody wants to rush through that part of it. That's my only concern. The clock has been amazing. It's been excellent. What about that part and maybe any concerns there?
Well, I think the end of the game issue, it's good we got out of the way early. Everybody saw it happened. Obviously, we don't want games ending that way. And, you know, I think you are going to find as we get more into the clock era that, you know, the umpires will make sure that you don't have that kind of end to the extent that it's possible. And, you know, they have some discretion, and I think, you know, they do use their discretion wisely in a variety of areas of the game, and I think they'll be careful about it. In terms of, you know, high leverage situations, this is something that in my conversations with players they've raised. We're going to pay attention to what the ninth inning looks like. We're going to think about it after we have a real body of games to examine, and, you know, on all these things that are around the edges of the clock. We don't have our feet in stone. We're really trying to listen to the players, listen to the field managers, get input, and we'll make adjustments where we have to.
That's been one of the more impressive parts of this to me is, first of all, the proactive level that you guys have taken here to get this done. The results are pretty stunning, but the open-mindedness on this is really good. And I'll tell you, the rule we haven't really seen yet, but we're going to see very soon here, is going to be the instant replay. And for my money, that might be one of the best of all of them that you guys are implementing, because the nonsense that we were getting with the asking for time, umpires coming over, you're going to challenge, not going to challenge, it was getting a little tiresome. So talk a little bit about what motivated and how exactly you guys came to the new standard.
Well, you know, look, there had been ongoing conversation about the time that was associated with replay. You know, you can't talk about things like a pitch clock and not be sensitive to the fact that it was slowing down the game, the hand up and all that. And, you know, the technology is good enough that I think it's not unfair to force people just to make a decision a lot quicker and move the game along. That's really the thinking.
And then we're actually using replay for what it was intended, right? Which is like a big missed call instead of these really goofy little technicalities.
Well, that is the truth. I mean, when we went to instant replay, the thought was we want a system that corrects the big miss. We may have swung a little too far in the other direction, but you know, that's a good thing for the game. When we change something and show a willingness to adjust, and people are flexible enough to allow us to adjust, that's good for the game over the long haul. Other sports do it, and we should be able to do it as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big ones with defenses, right? I think, you know, trying to explain to fans over these last couple of years, as we knew this ban was going to be coming sooner or later, there are limitations in every other sport, and there wasn't in ours. Now, I don't know if you've seen it yet where the left fielder could go in short right field. Probably nothing you can do about that, so we will get some maybe awkward alignments here and there.
You know, we talked long and hard about that, and you know, we're really blessed. We have a great group of former players that work with us: Raul Ibanez, CC Sabathia, and you know, the difference between trying to go the other way and hit the ball on the ground, and it's easier to go the other way and hit it in the air. We think is going to limit the number of times you see people move their left fielder. And we'll see. You know, I mean, you can always look, you can change that rule next year too. I mean, that's my point about adjusting. And remember, all of this is about delivering for our fans what our research says they wanted to see: brisker, athleticism, more action. And, you know, let's hope the rules do that for us.
Rob, you're needed down on the field to change the battery in somebody's pitch comm.
Yeah.
So the pitch comm, I think, was also a really great adjustment.
Yep.
And you've added to it this year with the pitchers being able to control it.
Well, you know, you asked me about unintended consequences a little bit ago. That actually was one. You know, last year when we put PitchCom out there in spring training, we thought we were testing. I mean, that was the mentality. And the players liked it so much that we had to go with it full time. This year, we decided we would experiment with the pitcher side of PitchCom, and I think the pitch clock encouraged more pitchers to want to be able to call at least some of the pitches, avoid wasting time shaking off signs. So, you know, we had more demand for those pitcher units than we were prepared for, to tell you the truth.
And this is pretty interesting here. It looks like we're trying to get through it and figure it out, but there was a meeting there among the umpires after what looked like a PitchCom issue, and I couldn't tell. We'll get to hear all about it. We love this.
We love this too. Jeff Nelson will let us know. Well, I assume he'll let us know.
So I wonder if, I couldn't tell, it looked like he might have been trying to call an extra ball there, maybe if it took too long to let the umpires know that you're having a PitchCom issue, which we know is one of the violations. And they're working through it right now, so not ideal of what we want here, but obviously there was a serious issue with that PitchCom completely going dead, and they replaced it.
Well, they're really trying to subvert this interview, though. Now, Rob, we had you up here. We're all excited about all these rules.
I know we got to have our first incident while I'm sitting here, right?
I'm like, hey, we're gonna get two questions in. It's Jacob deGrom. The inning's gonna go like that. We better be ready, and we're okay with it. Listen, we get to do this every few years, and we're certainly grateful to be able to do it. You mentioned the idea of think of our fans, and that's the one thing we try to sell, whether it's on TV or on radio. The idea of this brisker game and things moving along a little bit quicker. We saw it in spring training, maybe at a little bit higher rate than we even anticipated.
Right.
What was your takeaway in spring training? What we saw, those games were working really well. We had a sub 2 hour game here with the Rangers.
Yeah, I thought the games in spring training were really good. You know, it's interesting how each person reacts to the difference in pace. You know, so often when I'm at a game, I have people with me, they're talking, whatever, and I noticed right at the beginning that I was missing things in the game. Usually, you know, there was enough time you could talk about what you're talking about. You still watch the game. You got to pay more attention because things definitely moving more briskly.
All right, they've sorted out whatever was the issue down there. Now the 2-2 pitch, and there's a strikeout for Jacob deGrom.
I think they're on the phone over there to the replay center, so that when I do the next half inning on the other side, I know what the hell happened there. I mean,
I love it. It's great. And it does not take away from what has been accomplished here. Okay, so, you know, a lot of the new rules, we're excited about that. We're excited about the direction the game is headed. It is interesting. Now, you know, when I was a little bit younger, there was this campaign about the chicks digging the long ball. You remember this, right? And that's where baseball was headed. This was
Right.
back, what, mid-late 90s.
Right.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, look,
it seems like this is the other end of the spectrum. Right? We're trying to go back to athleticism and action and balls in play a little bit.
I think that's exactly right. You know, the way we have talked about it is we think we're restoring the best form of the game. We're not looking to change the game. We're not looking to take the home run out. Obviously, fans like home runs. But we are looking for more action, more balls in play. I mean, I think one of the great stats coming out of spring training is the batting average on balls in play went from the lowest in history last year to one of the highest during spring training, and that's a good thing for us.
I would agree, and you've been at this for a long time, not just as commissioner, but involved in the game on this side. Has there been a season that has had more anticipation for you than this one?
Sir, no, not in my memory. I mean, you know, I did the rounds of the, you know, we have requests of going all the morning shows, the buzz surrounding the game. I think it's a combination, you know, the WBC may have been the best international baseball tournament ever. Gave us a great lead into the season. People seemed interested in how the new rules were going to play. And, you know, again, it's always about the players. Hats off to the players. They have been amazingly positive about the adjustments they've had to make and dealing with the new rules. And I think all of that played together. And coming off a great postseason last year, you know, a really exciting postseason, just to build some momentum in the game, and we're hoping we can sustain it through the year.
It's funny you mentioned the WBC because it was brilliant. It was interesting to be, you know, juxtaposed next to the new rules, right? Because there were times where those games seemed like they might not have been moving along at a very digestible pace, but it worked out so beautifully. It's such a wonderful addition to baseball. I do have to ask, though, you know, the Edwin Diaz, Jose Altuve, we have, you know, big name, exciting players who are lost for some time from injury there, and it is just a
yeah, it's an issue.
Just
look, it is an issue. Let me say a couple things. The only complaint we really had about the WBC was that we didn't use the clock. I had to repeatedly point out to people, none of these other countries, players from other countries, had ever played with a clock. I mean, you can't kind of just drop it on them for a tournament, so there was a good reason for it. In terms of the injury thing, obviously, look, we don't want anybody getting hurt, but the fact of the matter is players do get hurt in spring training. Obviously, you guys, the Phillies had, you know, a very, very bad injury during spring training. We need to continue to look at the calendar. And it's really not a business issue. It's more of a look at the calendar and try to make adjustments that players are completely ready to go when you ask them to go out and play in high leverage games. And they are high leverage games now. They do not fall into the category of exhibitions, that's for sure.
And I'll tell you this, the WBC was a really nice reminder of the shift and the idea of getting rid of it, because the handful of times we saw the second baseman or third baseman out there in right field, I mean, I hated it. I hated it because we had gone through a couple of spring training games, and I was like, oh, yeah, I really don't like this shift at all. So I thought that was fantastic in that regard.
You know, when we thought about the shift rule, I think you make a really excellent point about the visual. We thought the downside of eliminating the shift was so limited because fans are going to look at the field and they're going to say, oh, yeah, everybody's standing where they're supposed to be standing, right? I mean, it looks like you think baseball should look. And so we thought that one had a little downside. And look, the fact of the matter is the shifting was really hard on certain types of players. There's no, you know, really affected their performance adversely, and, you know, not a good reason for that.
No, and in a lot of cases, like really high profile, great, exciting hitters. This is the second out of the inning. Now, again, talking with the commissioner of baseball, Rob Manfred, and it's a treat to have you up here. We also should extend our appreciation for the All-Star game coming here next year. You've been to this facility before. This is the newest, most incredible baseball facility going right now. How excited are you for next season?
Look, hats off to Ray Davis, the ownership group, the city of Arlington. This place is a show place. I mean, it really is. You know, obviously we were here for the World Series in 2020, but it was different. I mean, we don't need to dwell on 2020, right? But, you know, things are really different. And I think that we will have a great all-star week here in Texas, this facility being the centerpiece of it. and all there is to do here in the metropolitan area. I think it'll be really great.
Be a pretty decent WBC site as well, of course. I'm just going to put that in your ear. Ray did not ask me to say that. I just throwing that out there myself because, of course, we love it here in the new Lowe's Hotel that's going up and everything else that's going on around here in the 3 stadiums. It's just absolutely spectacular.
You know, it's interesting. Everybody focused on Miami, but I did go to Arizona to see WBC games, and I think the Mexican team playing so well. The atmosphere in that ballpark was darn good too. You know, everybody was focused on Miami, and I'm sure that, you know, apropos of your comment, this would be a great place to host a WBC.
Outside the ballpark too, the atmosphere was pretty good down there in Miami.
Yeah.
So real quick, and we don't, you know, we're 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. The balanced schedule. You had a chance. I was curious, why not 14-6 clean, just to make sure it's completely balanced?
Yeah, can I tell you, there are technical reasons for that I have to tell you is past me. The whole math of scheduling is a little past me, but there were reasons for the split. I think the bigger picture issue with the balanced schedule is just, you know, our product needs to be, our game needs to be more national. And one of the, you know, it relates to what your media strategy is and what that looks like. But another important piece of it is we need to give our fans a more regular opportunity to see the greatest players in the game. You know, Jacob deGrom, he's here, but you want people around the league to see him on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Commissioner Rob Manfred, thank you so much. This has been terrific. And thank you for what you're doing for baseball. We love where it's going.
And every time we make a dinner reservation, we'll thank you too.
There you go.
All right, here we go.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Russ. Oh, yeah.
Presented by Front Door, an all-new home repair and maintenance app, coming soon.
Rangers with some work to do here on opening day, down 4-0 to the Phillies here in the bottom of the 4th, and a little bit of light rain falling here at Globe Life Field. Of course, the roof is open. Members of the grounds crew meeting with the umpires in between innings, and the protocol from here, now that the roof is open, it is in the hands of the umpires. They will remain in contact with the grounds crew here, figure out what the weather situation looks like, but at any point in time, the umpiring crew can make the decision to close the roof.
Yeah, and Em, I don't know how many people remember this, but there was a time when you might open and close a roof more than once in a game. Once you begin the game and a decision is made one way or the other afterward, it's done. So if they close the roof for rain at any point here, it's done. It's closed for the rest of the day. We'll see.
I just love the idea that we even took the chance of having it open today on opening day. It's so beautiful, this ballpark, all the time, but especially when the roof is open.
Brad Miller fouls this one over to the left side for strike 2. 1-2 the count. Miller leading things off here in the 3rd, then Josh Smith, and then back up top for Marcus Semien. Last of the 3rd inning, and kind of a stunning last 2 innings for Jacob deGrom, as he's allowed a pair of runs in each of the last 2. All on extra base hits. He has not allowed a single. 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run. Although DeGrom does have 6 strikeouts through 3 innings. Nola's 2-2. And that one fouled away. DeGrom used 10 pitches in that first inning, which, you know, 1, 2, 3. Since then, the last 2 innings, he used 50 pitches. He may not have much more left. He may get 1 more inning. He may not. It doesn't look like there's any activity currently in the pen. 2-2. And it's a little bit high. They're going to be conservative with his pitch count.
Yeah, they are. But the lack of action in the bullpen, you wonder if he wants to get back out there after that inning. Not thrilled with the results that he got through a lot of good pitches. A couple of balls that were hit right down the line. I mean, one of those triples was just a little squibber.
Miller strikes out, and for Nola, he now has 3 strikeouts. 1 away. Hey, T-Mobile customers, get free MLB TV. Redeem now through April 3rd at T-Mobile.com/MLB. Dane Dunning was loosening in the pen last inning, but he's down now as Josh Smith steps in, and he goes after the first pitch, and it's that high in the air, deep down the right side, but foul.
And Dane Dunning, new to the bullpen for the Rangers for this kind of exact role where he's connecting a starter to the later arms in the bullpen, kind of serving in that long man role. Both him and Cole Reagan's starters in that Ranger bullpen this year, at least to start the season.
Breaking ball. Oh, generous ball on the corner there by Jeff Nelson, in the count 0-2. Anything we didn't cover with the commissioner that you wanted to get to?
I think we got to all of it. I mean, I really thought that interview was going to go fast. It went a little bit different than we expected.
This one high in the air down the left side and twists away foul.
Maybe automated strike zone, right?
Yeah, that was the only other one I had. Yeah.
And whether or not that'll be around the corner, and it seems like there's still some hesitancy even on the part of Major League Baseball. And, you know, I still, we've talked about it a lot over the years. I like the idea of the challenge system if we're going to go there at all. But we're still a little bit of ways away from that automated strike zone.
0-2 pitch to Smith. He swings right through it. That's strike 3. 2 away. Oh, he struck out 3 in a row. We've got a moment now for a message from Tax Act.
When you file with Tax Act, live help is easy.
All right, here's Simeon. And he rifles the first one down to third base. Bohm is there, and he throws out Marcus. It completes a 1-2-3 inning for Nola, who has retired 8 in a row. And we will play as it closes, as DeGrom back out, goes to work here in the 4th inning and fires that first one in for a strike to Bryson Stott. 6 strikeouts for DeGrom. And he's ahead here, 0-2. Stott was the guy, right, who was about a day late swinging on one of those
elevated
fastballs.
fastball. They got called out on strikes on the fastball that was in and looked a little frustrated by the call. And Jacob DeGrom just staying in there. The previous pitch was a fastball right in for a strike. Tries to go back in there once again. The question is, does he dare kind of take the approach of opening up a little bit early, anticipating an inside fastball? Not an easy thing to do because you really get exposed on anything away. And that's a changeup at 90 miles an hour. Don't see too many of those from Jacob DeGrom.
One and 2 the count on Stott. 1-2. And he got him. Stott strikes out. That's 7 punch-outs.
You can almost sense this coming. This is kind of pitching 101. Changeup away, followed by this fastball, 97, up and in elevated. Stott's already shown you that he's uncomfortable with that pitch. And that's good execution and a tough at-bat, both of them so far here for Bryson Stott.
First pitch to Bohm, and that one, good slider in there for a strike. So Dunning back up in the bullpen. DeGrom closing in on 70 pitches. I'm sure he'd like to get through this 4th entirely. The 1-strike offering, and that is strike 2.
I think we heard the number was around 65. Bruce Bochy said before the game today. But knowing you have a competitive Jacob DeGrom, it will be interesting to see if he's able to retire Bohm if they take him out because they're near that number.
This one down the first baseline toward the corner, and it's in for extra bases. Bohm will go to second base. It's another extra base hit for the Phillies, their 3rd double of the game. What's wild to me would be the exit velocities on some of these.
Yeah, 0-2, probably a little bit too much of the plate, even though it's on the corner. Alec Bohm has had a couple of very nice at-bats here against Jacob DeGrom. It's a good piece of 2-strike hitting, but for DeGrom, he wanted that slider further off the plate, probably down a little bit more.
He stays in. Jake Cave, the hitter, and he swings through a fastball for strike 1. The Phillies 2 for 5 today with runners in scoring position. They got 2 runs in the 2nd. Alec Bohm had the home run. Added 2 more in the 3rd. One of them coming in on a wild pitch. It's 1-1. After DeGrom's final warm-up in spring training, the topic of pitches came up, or pitch count came up for the opener. He was campaigning for 75. 1-1. So the manager was thinking, 70 might be about where we'd like to cap it a little bit. DeGrom was thinking, I can go 75-ish. And here comes Mike Maddox at 71 pitches. Be interesting. I don't know if maybe just trying to slow it down a moment for DeGrom, get him a chance to catch his breath.
I think so. It's almost like a timeout now, essentially, and knowing that these things are timed. I think it also probably has to do with giving Dane Dunning a little bit more time. Even though he was up earlier, this is not a routine that he's familiar with, and it's a difficult thing to figure out when you're a starter and you go into the bullpen and warming up as a reliever, not wanting to throw too much, but making sure that you're ready. He was up last inning, as you mentioned, and now kind of going along here with Jacob DeGrom. A conversation there with Mike Maddox as we have the timer. But it's been a point of confusion for you and I.
Yes, it has. Yeah. How long a visit can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not even going to say it. Let's dedicate ourselves to figuring that out tonight.
If we only had somebody that was in charge of baseball that was sitting right in between us an inning ago. Like you said, we just can't get to everything. The timer goes on, but it doesn't seem to be enforced or mean anything.
During those moments, yeah.
Exactly, for visits to the mound. Now, we have seen the catchers run out there pretty quickly when they want to go out and talk to a pitcher. That seems to be a hard 30 seconds, right?
Not only that, but if they call time, they have to get out on their way to the mound immediately. Otherwise, they will get assessed a ball. This one in the air, center field. Garcia chasing it back, and he'll make the catch. Deep fly ball out by Jake Cave. 2 gone in the inning. Cole Reagans was working in the bullpen as well a moment ago, and here comes Boch, so that will be it for Jacob deGrom. Here's the signal. So deGrom is done. Dane Dunning will be coming on. A man on, 2 out in the 4th. Opening day, one of the great days of the year. That roof slammed shut now. A 4-0 Phillies lead. Maybe that'll change things up a little bit. Cole Reagans is the new pitcher for the Rangers. And I apologize for promising Dane Dunning because I got crossed up. But it is Reagans who comes in here with 2 out, and Bohm the runner at second base, Marsh the hitter. I think everything you said about Dunning holds true for Reagans. This is uncharted territory for him as well, to be a long man.
To come out of the bullpen, to be on an opening day roster, there's a lot going on right now, and get your first relief appearance in the big leagues with a runner at second base. There's all kinds of emotion that goes into this. There's Dane Dunning, and perhaps Cole Reagans maybe is finishing up the inning. I don't know exactly what the plan is. We'll see it play out for the Rangers.
Chopper, and that one stays fair right down the third baseline, and that'll get another run to the plate. Bohm is in on the double by Marsh, and it's 5-0 Philadelphia.
Some of these hits that we're seeing from the Philadelphia Phillies have everything to do with being short and making contact. There's been a couple of balls driven, but we've seen some of this as well. The contact game, which Major League Baseball would like to see a little bit more of right here by Brandon Marsh. Not doing a lot, just hitting a little soft ground ball to the left side. It gets caught up in the wall over there and takes a little bit of a bounce backwards for that easy double. Uh-oh for that bat boy right there. Oh, never mind. Intentional walk. I joke around because there's extra scrutiny on bat boys and bat girls this year with the pitch clock to make sure that they're doing what they need to do and getting that equipment, being quick as that clock is running.
Turner at first base after the intentional pass. And it's Kyle Schwarber 0 for 2. Left on left here, and that one is upstairs. So DeGrom went 3 2/3 today through 73 pitches. .1-0 from Reagans, and that's in the air left field. Hanging up a little bit though. Smith gets to it, and we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Phillies with a 5-0 lead in this Rangers offense. Time to get things started. Corey Seager leads it off when we come back.
Day with the Rangers trailing the Phillies by a score of 5-0. Time now for our Bounty quick stats. Taking a look at Corey Seager and the shift. We mentioned this with Rob Manfred when he joined us earlier. 26 hits lost to the shift for Seager, second most in baseball. How about his expected batting average compared to his actual batting average? Nearly 40 points difference. You see it there at 38. That is the second highest differential in baseball from a year ago. So there's some real anticipation that we'll see a bump in batting average. A significant bump in batting average for Corey Seager this year.
Well, they still do what they can, and that's about as far as they can go right there. Turner has to stay on that shortstop side of second base. 1-strike pitch. And it's 0-2. That one, again, finds that open corner for Jeff Nelson. He's been liberal there. Set up in that same spot and bounce this one. 5-0 Philadelphia. They about hit the Rangers 7-0. And all the hits for the Phillies, extra base hits.
Jacob Odorizzi to the right of Jacob deGrom, Nate Eovaldi to his left. And that's part of what we heard about in spring training with this group and the camaraderie among them. In the conversations there, Nate Eovaldi watching all the other starts, whether it was in person or catching up and watching on television, watching bullpens. It's a real tight-knit group. Of course, Odorizzi is on the IL right now. Those are some guys that have been in the game for a long time. It's a very seasoned Texas Rangers rotation. I tell you what, that'd be a fun place to be a fly on the wall and listen to that pitching conversation.
2-2 on Seager. Seager's been the only Rangers base runner so far. He walked in the first. Here it comes. That's high. Full count. He said after the walk that might be one of the more ironic plate appearances in a while, because you don't see many walks from Nola. He issued 29 walks all year last year. Count stays full on Seager, and Be pretty wild if he did it again. If he did it again to one of the Rangers' more aggressive free swingers. Outfield pretty deep against Seager. Does have good power. The 3-2. And that is popped foul out of play. A lengthy at bat here for Corey. So we'll see a 10th pitch. Payoff from Nola, and this one is out to center field, drops in, base hit. There's the first single of the game for anybody. Seager has it. The Rangers had their first hit of the game.
And good to see. This was a quality at bat from Corey Seager, working the count. Looks like the changeup grip, not the strongest pitch for Aaron Nola. He wanted it more away. It sat middle and down, and Corey Seager right on it. It's interesting. I was kind of watching that view that we give you from behind home plate. I think you're like me, kind of distracted by shiny objects.
Yes.
It would really bother me that the clock goes off. Like you see the two big clocks that are out there, and as soon as the pitcher moves, it goes off.
Yeah. Well,
I'd be a worse hitter than I already am in this game.
Nathaniel told me he did not like seeing that clock at all during spring training, and was concerned, had some level of concern about where it would be positioned in these ballparks. He says it can be really distracting and can get in your head a little bit. Seager with a decent lead, and low, bounces it right side of the infield, and a foot race toward the bag. Wow, with a good tag to get down and get Nathaniel for the first out of the inning.
And Hall looked like he was almost pushing Aaron Nola out of the way. Nola wasn't sure if he was going to flip the ball to him. Remember, this is new for Derek Hall because Rhys Hoskins is hurt late in spring, but you see him kind of like, excuse me, sir, I got to go make a tag. He could have flipped it, but if you can make the tag or get to the bag, you'd much rather do that. You got to be careful. Don't push your ace out of the way too hard, and you're a free agent to be. Rhys Hoskins tore his ACL in spring training. Derek Hall's got a really good bat, was expected to be the DH in place of Bryce Harper to start the season, and now he's the first baseman.
Seager out at second base now, and here is Adolis Garcia. And he'll take strike one. A chance for Adolis to drive in that first Rangers run of the season. He was so good at it last year. There's that corner call again. 0-2.
So we did get confirmation Jacob deGrom has never allowed back-to-back triples in a game, and the 6 extra base hits that he allowed is a career high single game.
Again, we check the exit velocities on those, and I've never guessed it. The 0-2. This ball hit hard out into left field. That drops in, base hit. Seager around third. They'll stop him. Tony Beasley had a great look at it, backpedaling down the line, and he thought better of it. So Garcia with a base hit there on the corners.
That's the first time we saw him swing the bat so far through 2 plate appearances, but the 6th time we've seen him pitch in the strike zone. So the patience of Adolis Garcia paying off. He hit this ball 97 miles an hour, and that one big hop into right field is exactly why Corey Seager was held up. It got out there just a little bit too quickly, and with the Rangers down big, you don't take any unnecessary chances right now.
Conversation now for Nola for the first time today. He's facing a bit of a challenge here. Only 1 out in the inning.
All right, so that clock started, that 30-second clock that you and I have been talking about. It's down to 1 and nothing.
Yeah, just expired.
It's a clock about nothing.
Here comes Jeff Nelson slowly out to the mound, and this might be a little bit of what Rob Manfred was talking about, just a little discretion here and there. You still have the limitation on number of mound visits you can use in a game, although if you're out of mound visits going into the 9th inning, you are given an extra mound visit.
Yeah.
And then you get 1 extra for every extra inning that comes along. So the non-visit limitation rule is pretty toothless. Here's Josh Young now. He hit a ball hard in the second inning, lined out to center field. The first pitch from Nola bounces up there. Young had a really good spring training. 25-year-old, and he's prepared now for what could be his first full season of professional baseball after being a first-round pick out of Texas Tech in 2019. That's outside. It's always been something for him. The pandemic, his first season, full season of pro ball in 2020. With a stress fracture in his left foot that required surgery the next year. Last year, hurt his shoulder lifting weights just before spring training, and that truncated his season. Boy, Nelson really giving a little bit extra off those corners.
Yeah, this was really wide. Breaking ball that sweeps away and off the plate. Yeah, that is a ball. Mentioned consistency, but that got a little bit wider than I think anything else we have seen this afternoon.
Runners with their leads at 2-1. And there it is again. Those aren't really that close.
No, I'm with you. I will say on that pitch, though, there's been some consistency on that one being called. Let's see what kind of work umpire scorecards is doing and get a look at that on social media. They do a pretty good job of breaking that stuff down after game, the day after games.
2-2. And it's a full count. There have been times today where Nola seems really dialed in, gets quick outs, and then there have been other innings where he's labored at a long at bat with Semien in the first. Seager worked him in a long at bat this inning. Rangers threatening in the fourth. The payoff pitch. And that's ball 4. Young draws the walk, and the Rangers have him loaded. We check in again with Emily.
You mentioned this being Josh Young's first opening day. It's actually his first opening day as a professional because of the coronavirus and because of those injuries you guys talked about. And the first thing he talked about this morning was, I'm just happy I made it through spring training healthy. And you're talking about a guy who before that stress fracture, the only surgery he'd ever had was his wisdom teeth taken out. So this is foreign territory for him. He is happy to be back.
Jonah Heim takes one up. Seager, Garcia, Young, third to first. It's been a quiet day so far offensively for the Rangers, trailing 5-0. Heim flips this one down the third base side. Sliding effort down there by Bohm, but he couldn't quite get to it.
So now that we have the pitch clock, you'll get used to it pretty quickly. I think the players have gotten used to it in spring training. When it's going to feel fast are moments like this. When you're out there on the mound and you want a little bit of an extra breather, you take some time, you end up having the big walk there. We've seen really good at-bats from all the Rangers so far in this inning. Now you got bases loaded, and there's always that little extra second here. Go at your pace. That's what you've been bred to do in these big spots. And then you look up and you see that clock. That's going to contribute a little bit, I think, to that heart rate going a little bit quicker as you see the step off right here. Now, did he call time or did Jonah call time? I guess Jonah called time right there. He had to. He's the only one that can do it, right? Or is that a disengagement?
Well, I think that's a disengagement. This ball ripped over first. That's a base hit. Here comes Seager. Garcia right on his heels. He'll score. Into third, Young. They'll stop him. A 2-run double by Jonah Heim. And the Rangers get started offensively.
They needed to cash in here against Aaron Nola, and they did. Jonah Heim had a monster season last year, getting all that playing time that we talked about, and he comes up big here in his first opportunity with some runners on base to get that momentum going in the Rangers' favor. Breaking ball that is down, sweet spot for a left-handed hitter when Jonah Heim is hitting from that side, and now they have the Philadelphia Phillies, and they're back against the wall.
Now 2 runs in, but 2 more in scoring position now as Grossman steps in. Still only 1 out in the inning. Grossman struck out looking in the second inning, and he watches ball one from Aaron Nola. Gregory Soto started to throw in the bullpen for Philadelphia. Down low, 2 balls and no strikes. Here's Soto.
Soto came over from the Detroit Tigers and added to this bullpen via trade. And he's probably going to want to get going pretty quickly here. We just saw Aaron Nola yank that changeup. He's been missing out of the zone. That's not something we see very often from him. And it appears that some fatigue could be setting in right now.
Oh, this ball hit high in the air. Deep out to right field. Does it have enough? It's gone! And Robbie Grossman has tied the game in the 4th inning.
We said it in spring training, and it's true here now on opening day. This could be one of the better signings and under the radar for the Rangers, inexpensively bringing in Robbie Grossman. We know that he gets on base, but he has done a really great job making adjustments with his left-handed swing. He's always been good against lefties, but against righties, there have been some struggles. The Rangers believed in those adjustments, and it shows up big here on opening day.
That gets his fans fired up. A 5-run 4th inning. Still just the 1 out. Nola's 1-0 to Miller. It's 1-1. And Miller struck out in the 3rd. Takes DeGrom off the hook. 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. Robbie Grossman. It didn't take long for him to make his first big contribution as a Ranger. The 1-2. And this one on the ground, sharply struck, but a nice stop by Stott. He'll throw out Miller, 2 away.
Let's take you back to the home run, the swing here from Robbie Grossman. Elevated fastball unintentionally. You don't see the kind of velocity from Aaron Nola you see from Jacob deGrom. He does not want to go upstairs with that fastball. And Robbie Grossman made him pay. And a nice catch in the bullpen with the hat.
Well, that's a pretty fun half inning right there. Rangers had threatened a walk, loaded them up. Jonah Heim cashed in with a big double to right field. That got the scoring started. And then Robbie Grossman with a big hit, a 3-run tater. We're tied at 5. 5 as we continue here in the 4th inning. Time now for our front door expert approach, and these two teams offensively have combined for 11 hits, 9 of them for extra bases. A couple of homers, a couple of triples, 5 doubles. Well, Josh Smith, a little bat here against Gregory Soto, and he swings through strike 1.
Soto was a really nice acquisition for the Philadelphia Phillies. Their bullpen runs pretty deep. You get a left-handed arm that averages 98, 99 miles an hour, both the 2-seam fastball and 4-seam fastball. He's got a good slider. He was actually better against righties last year than he was against lefties. Righties hit just 218 against Soto.
Smith over 1, struck out in the 3rd inning. Takes low here, 3-1. It was always his calling card in the minor leagues to be a real disciplined hitter. I'm hoping some of that can translate now as more of a regular. He'll be kind of off the bench at times for this Rangers team, and he'll draw a walk here in the 4th inning. 2nd walk in the inning. The Rangers have a 2-out base runner for Marcus Semien, who is the 9th hitter in the inning.
Go back to the beginning of this inning. It all started with the Corey Seager deep at bat, working the count, turning it into a single, and it just seemed continuously against Aaron Nola, wearing him down, making him throw a lot of pitches. And then eventually the big blow from Robbie Grossman.
Strike 1 to Marcus, who was twice grounded out to 3rd, and he serves that foul. 0-2. Boy, remarkably similar lines for the two starters, Jacob deGrom and Aaron Nola. Both went 3 2/3. Both allowed 5 runs. 73 pitches for deGrom, 72 for Nola. It's in the dirt, and deGrom threw 49 balls. Or rather 49 strikes, and Nola 48 strikes. We'll be up to the bullpens from here. Man at first. The 1-2. And that one in the air. Back of second base. That could be no man's land. It drops in, base hit. Smith to 3rd base on the bloop single by Semien. And the inning continues.
Well done by Marcus Semien. You can see the grip there. It's a 2-seam fastball, the sinker, but no run on that one. They're trying to go away from Marcus. It kind of sits middle. It doesn't get that tailing action that you're looking for on that pitch. And that gives him a chance to poke it out to right.
So the inning that started with Corey Seager's great at bat, here he is again in this 4th inning. Go ahead run at 3rd. And he takes strike 1 from Soto. Good day so far for Seager with the walk and the base hit. Some bodies stirring in their bullpen. Nobody throwing, but some guys loosening up just in case. Down low, 2-1.
Pretty patient inning here for Corey Seager in his 2 plate appearances. You know how aggressive he can be, and I think Soto, after walking Smith, you could almost bank on him trying to go middle with that first pitch, and he did, but it was down.
Corey may have chased the ball right there, 2-2. Connor Brogdon, right-hander, has started to throw for Philadelphia. Runner goes from first, and that one misses low. Ball 3. That's a stolen base for Semien, his first of the season. It's almost like the Phillies lost track of the count.
That could be big here. Corey Seager can get a base hit. Simeon now in scoring position.
Payoff. And it's low, ball 4. They're loaded up. Another walk in the inning. And the Rangers will get an 11th batter to the plate in this 4th inning.
You kind of see your new Rangers. That was Travis Jankowski to the right of Robbie Grossman. A lot of new faces in that dugout.
First pitch to Lowe, taken upstairs, ball 1. Now, to that point, here's the guy on this active roster who has played the most games in a Rangers uniform, Nathaniel Lowe. This is game number 315 for Lowe. And it's pretty easily the most on this team. That just gives you a little idea of how new a lot of these guys are. When you go around baseball and you take the guy who has played the most games for their teams, that is the smallest number. So there's a lot of fresh faces. Just 12 returning players on this Rangers team.
So you can limit mound visits. You can put a clock on mound visits, but fans still aren't having it. They're booing his visit on the mound, and it was good timing by JT Realmuto, who called that timeout to go visit Soto, who started going a little fast and missed badly here against Lowe. Now the question becomes for Nathaniel Lowe sitting on something, whether it be middle away, his ability to drive the ball the other way, or to be patient and maybe just take a pitch because he's been so wild.
2-1.
That's a good take. He didn't want that anyway. A little front door slider at 92 miles an hour. That would have been a tough pitch.
Smith, Simeon, and Seager, third to first, and a little tapper out in front of the plate. Soto dives, throws to first, or to the plate rather, not in time. Smith is in there, and the Rangers have their first lead.
We got a hand up here for Bob Thompson as we might potentially get a replay review on this. He's got a solid 15 seconds to make his decision. That is it. And things have changed in that regard. And you talked about it with the commissioner earlier. They're not going to challenge it. That is some good base running from Josh Smith to hustle and get there. The only play for Soto he felt like was home, and he tried to shovel it, and it was close. Check out Josh Smith, head down, running as hard as he can. Did he get the hand in? Yeah, he did. That's a good call.
That's going to be it for Soto. He couldn't get it done. The Rangers have scored 6 runs in the inning and had their first lead of the season. at Rangers.com. Fabulous crowd here this afternoon. Opening day. Phillies jumped ahead 5-0. Rangers have fought back. Bases loaded. And the new pitcher, Connor Brogdon, misses with ball 1 to Garcia.
As the first pitch changeup, he's a little bit different. Throws the changeup more than any other pitch out of the changeup, four-seam fastball and cutter that he throws.
2-0. Here it comes. 95 right on the corner, or very close to it anyway.
So I'm fascinated by this. Not that we'll track it all the time, but that's now 6 called strikes against Adolis Garcia. He swung 1 swing so far, turned into a base hit. So working on that patience. I said it. That means some more called strikes than usual.
Oh, he swings and misses, but he goes to the backstop. And coming in to score from third, Semien. The Rangers add a run, and it is 7-5.
Arguably one of the best defensive catchers and offensive catchers in the game, and JT Realmuto, and he just missed this. You can see the gold on his glove for the Gold Gloves that he has won. And that is a big pass ball.
So second and third, and the 2-2. Garcia shoots it out to right field. Back on it is Castellanos. It's over his head. 2 more runs have scored. Garcia to second. He is out at second base. Apparently overslid the bag.
Bruce Bochy's got his hand up. He wants his 15 seconds for the Rangers to at least look at a replay and potentially think about challenging this. They have 15 seconds now to make their decision. This is a hard line, and they're not going to challenge it.
It's a 9-run 4th inning. It ends on that play, but the Rangers have opened it up at home. Hey, that's the biggest offensive inning of the year. 9-5 Rangers to the 5th.
Prove it. The Rangers, we are in the top of the 5th inning, and there's a fancy new graphic for you here on opening day. But let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here with Adolis Garcia as he drives this ball into right field over the head of Nick Castellanos. And he's rounding first. You see him kind of pick up the pace a little bit. I think he thought it was an automatic double. And luckily both runs scored in time. Oh, you know what? That would have been a tough one to challenge because it looked like he beat it, but he came off the bag. Nevertheless, the excitement there from the new Ranger skipper, Bruce Bochy. That might have been worth challenging.
Well, Brock Burke comes out here in the 5th inning, and he fires a fastball a little bit in to Realmuto. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters: Realmuto, Hall, and Castellanos. Burke second man up out of the bullpen today, and that's fouled off.
So you see those numbers right there, 82 1/3 innings for Brock Burke, the most of any relief pitcher in baseball last year. It's a big number. The Rangers believe that he can get there again. Bruce Bochy was asked that in spring training. Is 80 innings a possibility? He said, absolutely. Young, strong guy. Will be a multi-inning reliever. Obviously, he's in this game early this afternoon. He was fantastic last season. Sub-2 ERA and just an excellent job with the swings and misses.
Falls behind 3-1. Boch was pretty clear about it today before the game. Said, I told the guys in the bullpen it is all hands on deck. We have a day off tomorrow, so just be prepared to throw. The 3-1, and there's a swing and a miss at the fastball. Cole Reagans, who you would expect to be more of a long man this season, only recorded 1 out the last inning, and that was it. That's enough. But in the case today where the Rangers have enough arms available, that's all they needed. 3-2. And that's off the handle. A broken bat bloop back of second. And Realmuto retired to start the 5th. Well, let's check in with Emily.
And you really see Brock Burke kind of coming into his own, getting the experience at the big league level that he has gotten. He feels like he's stronger. He feels like he's comfortable coming out of the bullpen, has kind of established a routine in that regard, and says he has relied heavily on the new veteran pitchers that have been brought in to kind of pick their brains about how they operate, how they do things, and feeling like he fits right in the bullpen.
Yeah, he does. Even though it was only the 1 year, you almost look at him as kind of a staple in that Ranger bullpen right now. Again, he was so terrific. Pretty quiet guy, quiet confidence to him, but it was a special season last year.
Jumps ahead 0-2 here on Derek Hall. And Chris Woodward nicknamed him Dexter last year after the television character. The 0-2 pitch. And that is up and away. Now, Burke doesn't give you a lot. What he could solve the Rubik's Cube like sub 1 minute, I think. 1-2 pitch. And he gets a bouncer right side of the infield. Easy play for Lowe. 2 up, 2 down. And a chance now for Burke to post a shutdown inning after a 9-run. Bottom of the 4th. It's a big spot for Bruce Bochy and his bullpen, because if he can post a quick goose egg, then you get this offense back in the dugout and keep applying that pressure on the Phillies.
Yeah, momentum absolutely exists in our game, so this will be big. You get the 2 quick outs, and a lot of times for younger pitchers, and not always just even younger, but a little more inexperienced, sometimes you get 2 outs quickly and focus wanes a little bit, and that's actually when it has to be turned up a little bit, and this would be big for Brock Burke.
Ground ball, left side of the infield, diving stop, Young! Got him! Oh! Lowe couldn't hold it. Great effort by Josh Young. Make a terrific stop, and it looked for a moment like he had the throw as well. But Lowe couldn't squeeze it.
Great job going to his left. Full extension, hops up, makes the throw. Got a pretty decent hop for Nathaniel Lowe. He was very good last year at scoops. One of the better first basemen in baseball, and I think he'll tell you that he expects to come up with this one. Not that it's easy, but you can see it just hit the bottom part of his glove, and he could not get it. That would have been amazing.
So Castellanos given an infield hit. And Bryson Stott, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, fouls off strike 1. Mark with a look over there to first and delivers. It's right down the middle, 96 miles per hour with a fastball. 0-2.
Brock Burke did well against both lefties and righties, but really dominated the lefties. They hit just 192 against him a year ago.
0-2. Bouncer left side, big hole over there, and it's through. So back-to-back 2-out singles for the Phillies.
So will that count as a shift beater? The shift is gone essentially, but the Rangers were shaded up the middle. And nobody home at the shortstop.
So shade beater?
Shade beater, maybe. Got to come up with something. 0-2 pitch, not exactly where Brock Burke wanted it, but look where Corey Seager is, right up the middle with the lefty, and I guess we will still see this once in a while. What we thought was a traditional ground ball, not always going to be an out.
So Alex Bohm, who's been tough today, and he swings right through strike one. He's homered and doubled, scored twice, driven in a couple. 9-5 Rangers lead. But the Phillies managed a couple of base runners in this fifth inning. Burke's 1 strike pitch. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2. Fans would like to see a strikeout here. Here it comes. And it's fouled off. There's been a good energy with this crowd today. They were a little disappointed, no doubt, when it was 5-0 Philadelphia. What a comeback so far here in the middle innings. 0-2. Another foul ball.
So that's twice now that we've seen Brock Burke trying to go into the right. He's hit a little clap there from Jonah Heim, almost kind of encouraging him to work a little harder, that when he's set up in to get that ball in. He's missed up and away 2 times now when he's trying to get the ball in. And remember, it was an 0-2 hit that we just saw as well from Bryson Stott. So really kind of pushing Brock Burke to make a good 2-strike pitch. He's way ahead in the count right now.
We'll try it again. And another foul ball.
You see where that one ended up also? You can see the body language. I've seen it too many times in my life. Like, hey, that's not what we're trying to do here. I would like you to throw the ball over here. So then the question becomes, if you're Jonah Heim, do you keep pushing? You see a little encouragement right there? Do you keep pushing to try to get the ball in? You struggle a little bit, or do you go to something else? You go away or down away, up below the zone, whatever it may be. You're way ahead. It keeps missing on the arm side. There it is. Good job.
1-2.
See how Jonah called the changeup there, just to get him to do something different. Just mixing it up once in a while, and perhaps now he's confident to go back in with the fastball. That was a good call by Jonah, just to flip the script a little bit.
All right, the 1-2 pitch, and this one on the ground up the middle, base hit around third base. Castellanos, he'll score without a throw. RBI single by Alec Bohm, and it's now 9-6. Boy, he's having a day.
Let's take a look at this and see if he got all the way in. It's the 4-seam fastball. No, look at Jonah Heim's glove once again, coming back over to the middle of the plate and up. And even though it wasn't hit hard, enough over the plate to be able to hit that hard ground ball up the middle. It's a negative visit from Mike Maddox to slow him down a little bit and see if he sees anything that will help him get that fastball into righties.
The hand on the shoulder. And a little pep talk. Then right as that clock was about to hit 0, he heads back to the dugout. 9-6 the score. Burke got a couple of quick outs, but Castellanos on an infield hit that very nearly was an out. And then Stott with a base hit. Bohm followed with the single.
I wonder if the 30-second clock is you need to be done by 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds that wants to get out there and to finish up your meeting. Could that be it?
I mean, it could be. The problem is we've seen a mound visit exceed that today, and didn't appear there was anything assessed as the first pitch to Cave is in there for a strike. Jake Cave, he has struck out and flied out. That's wide. 1-1.
There's such a psychology to it as well for Brock Burke. He just threw 2 pretty good pitches away to the lefty. But when trying to go into the righty, it was a lot more difficult. It's more about probably the visual and seeing the left-handed hitter compared to the righty. So far, he's been much better to that side of the plate.
Burke a lot of times last year was a multi-inning guy, but it may not be the case today. There is activity in the Rangers pen. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Cave strikes out for the second time this afternoon. All right, Phillies get a run back, but they leave a pair. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning with the Rangers on top 9-6. There aren't many like it in the year, and certainly in a baseball season. Opening day 2023. Rangers 9 runs in that 4th inning. First time since '97 that anybody has scored as many runs in an inning on opening day.
And shockingly, the Rangers have done it before. Like, shocking to me at least. 1992. They scored 9 runs in the 8th inning at Seattle on opening day.
Wow. If you would have told me, if you would have said, as an example, hey, remember a couple years ago when we were in Kansas City and they scored 9 runs in the first? I'd be like, oh, yeah. Right? Because remember that crazy start to that one?
It was 5-5 after the first, I believe, if memory serves. Rangers scored 5. Kyle Gibson gave up 5.
You could have told me 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. I remember it being just crazy. Strike 2.
This is number 52, right? Year 52, franchise history.
Yep.
And they've doubled up on their biggest inning on opening day.
Well, we've got a ways to go in this one. 9-6 Rangers. Young had a big walk last inning, and he takes low here, 2-2. Brogdon came in last inning and his 2-2 pitch. This one in the air, right side, foul. We'll do it again. Now, just my instinct tells me that what we've seen from the Rangers offensively today is a little improved over what we saw last year, just in terms of patience and discipline at the plate. This one lofted down the left side, high in the air, foul territory. Bohm just runs out of room.
I would agree. And I think there's a lot of reasons to believe that that will be the case this year. We've already talked about Adolis Garcia. We've seen it. Josh Young, with some big league time under his belt, comes in a little bit more comfortable. I told you about Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. First time for them now after what was a rush spring training where they can feel a little bit more relaxed and feel like themselves. You add Robbie Grossman, patient hitter, has always had a good walk rate over the course of his career playing right field. Josh Smith, same thing, right? If you look at this lineup, there's a lot of reasons to believe that that would be the case this season.
Young strikes out to start the bottom of the 5th. 1 away. It's time now for our Choctaw Casinos and Resorts game within the game. And it's all about the offense today. 6 runs on 7 extra base hits for the Phillies. The Rangers with the 9 runs last inning. Highlighted by the Grossman 3-run bomb. Corey Seager got it started with a great at-bat, scored twice in the inning. And now ball 1 to Jonah Heim. Heim had a big 2-run double. At the time, that would have probably satisfied us for that inning. It was a spot where I think afterwards you said that they had to cash in somehow or another, and Heim did. Little did we know that would simply open the floodgates. 2-0.
It's a very good bullpen that they have on paper in Philadelphia. They added Craig Kimbrell to the mix. We saw Soto in this game early. Big arm, struggled today. But it felt like that was a moment they had to get, or they might not have nearly as many opportunities the rest of the way, and Jonah Heim came through.
Works himself ahead here, 3-1. Flew out in the 2nd inning. Pitch to him. This one in the air. Down that right field line. Will it stay fair? It is foul. Full count.
Jonah Heim was trying with the body language a little bit, but he knew that one was hooking. Just a little bit out front.
Payoff. Another foul ball. Another extended at bat here. This will be the 7th pitch to Heim. It's just the 3rd batter that Brogdon has faced in this relief outing, and this one is flared over short. That's a base hit. Heim is on with his 2nd hit of the game.
Well, that'll give us an opportunity to get to a little StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, and taking a look at the home run here from Robbie Grossman. 93 miles an hour elevated, not where they wanted to throw that pitch. That was from Aaron Nola, and he deposits it into that Ranger bullpen. Nearly 400 feet for the first home run in a Ranger uniform for Robbie Grossman.
Now he hits this one sharply to 2nd, where it's caught for the 2nd out of the inning. Stott hardly had to move, just been down to grab it, and it's a 2nd out of the inning. Bring up Brad Miller. That's one of those, though, you're not too upset. Good contact.
And we've already seen it, the improvement in that swing from the left side. The switch hitter Robbie Grossman. It's a good sign here early on.
Miller's the only Ranger yet who has not reached base or who has not scored. Everyone has scored. Everyone's been on except Brad. He's 0 for 2. Hit a ball hard his last time up. Ended up a ground out, and he takes low here, 2-0. Miller, one of the 12 returning Rangers this season, was signed to a 2-year deal prior to last season. Former Philly. In fact, in Philadelphia, he was known as Bamboo Brad. The bamboo plant he brought in, the 2-0 pitch, and that's a strike.
But he's swinging bamboo, maybe.
2 outs. I'm the man at first.
Do you think anybody actually called him Bamboo Brad?
Yeah.
Like when he walked in the clubhouse every day?
Well, I don't know about all that.
Hey, Bamboo Brad.
Hey, there's Bamboo Brad. Probably not. Here's a 2-2, and it's a full count. He never disappoints though with the stirrups. Goes with the old school look. Showing off those calves. 9-6 Rangers lead. 3-2. That's fouled away, and Miller will see another one.
Not surprising for Brogdon. Much better against lefties than righties, and that's because he uses the changeup as much as he does for a right-handed pitcher. That's always the neutralizing pitch, and it's a straight change. He just gets really good speed differential on it. Lefties hit just 207 against him last year compared to the 274 for the righties.
Another foul ball.
And another changeup. Miller's done a nice job extending this at bat. He'd love to see a mistake with that pitch, whether it's a fastball over the plate or even a changeup just slightly elevated. Give him a chance to drive something.
It's the third at bat of the inning to go at least 7 pitches. In fact, this will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Going back to that observation a little earlier, just about the patience and discipline that they have shown top to bottom in the order. Heim will be running from first. A 3-2 pitch. That's in the air, left field. Pretty well struck. Cave on the run. Looks up. Gone! A 2-run blast by Brad Miller. And it is 11-6.
Brad Miller joining the party after that great at bat, fighting off some tough pitches, keeping it alive, and he gets a fastball and backspins this thing. Line drive. Watch it just carry. It's not a bad pitch. It is down. And if you remember a year ago, opening day, Brad Miller hit a home run in Toronto when the Rangers opened things up, and so it's back-to-back opening days for Brad Miller in which he hits a homer, and he's pretty excited to be invited to the party this afternoon.
Wow, this offense just took off in the 4th inning. Now an 11-6 game. Brogdon is done. A new Philly coming on. Bottom of the 5th inning. 11-6. Rangers on top. We got a sellout crowd. Pitching change by the Phillies. Andrew Vasquez, the new pitcher.
Not a lot of experience for Vasquez. 10 games last year, just 8 2/3 innings. It features a slider and a 2-seam fastball. He spent a little bit of time in the big leagues, but with 4 different teams so far: the Twins, the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, the Giants, and now here with the Philadelphia Phillies.
It's Bubba Thompson pinch hitting here, and Bubba goes after the first offering, pops it up down the first baseline into foul ground, and that's the final out of the inning. Vasquez is pretty efficient. 5 innings in the books. Rangers add a couple. Yeah, they're having fun inside Texas Live as well. 11-6 Rangers on top. Rangers with the lead after the pinch hit there by Bubba Thompson. Some changes. Robbie Grossman is now in left field, moving across the diamond. Bubba goes into center field, which means Adolis Garcia is now back in his normal spot in right.
Thought we were going to get the trifecta, everyone looking at their hat and where they should be playing. 2 out of 3.
And Burke goes back to work here in the 6th inning.
Well, a couple of things. Remember what Bruce Bochy told us earlier today regarding the bullpen. You mentioned all hands on deck, but also the fact that the Rangers are off tomorrow. So I would say maybe if they were playing tomorrow, maybe Brock Burke would not have gone back out for a second inning, but he said he would push a little bit, knowing they have tomorrow off, and then back at it against the Phillies on Saturday and Sunday.
1-1. Marsh, the 9th place hitter, takes off the plate. 2-1. Brandon Marsh, former Angel. It's 2-2. So Burke, he had to use quite a few pitches in that 5th inning. Got 2 quick outs, but then 3 straight hits slowed things down for him. It is 2-2. And there's a swing and a miss. His 2nd strikeout. 1 away.
Good elevated fastball here from Brock Burke to finish off the lefty. Jonah Heim wanted it away, but this will play as well. We mentioned there was times against the right-handed hitters where he was missing to the glove side in that spot right there, but it plays a lot better against lefties than it does righties.
Now Trey Turner, and he goes after the first pitch. Strike 1. How about a look at our TXU power stats? We were talking with the commissioner earlier about the WBC. Trey Turner was one of the absolute shining stars in the World Baseball Classic.
Batting 9th for a good amount of that WBC. Eventually moved up, I believe, to 6th for the championship game. Team USA losing to Japan. It's a pretty good 9-hole hitter. $300 million 9-hole hitter in the WBC.
2-1. Five-run Rangers lead. 2-1. Strike 2. The Rangers have racked up a number of strikeouts already. 9 so far today. 7 by DeGrom. Burke with 2 of them. The 2-2 pitch. That one is popped up right field. Garcia coming in and makes the catch, 2 away. Well, you know, kids 13 and under can join the Junior Rangers, presented by Golden Chick. Just go to texasrangers.com/Junior Rangers.
Big thing, while the strikeouts have been nice so far for Rangers pitching, 1 walk.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's been a part of the story. They have drawn 4 walks offensively, so it's been a part of the story today. Is Kyle Schwarber 0 for 3 goes after strike 1. This guy's got some good power too. Schwarber the DH today, twice is flied out, once is struck out. And he lines this one over third, but foul. I was thinking about how when Schwarber hits one, it's usually the type of thing you know the moment he makes contact. He's got that light tower power, as they say, kind of like Joey Gallo. When the commissioner was in here and you were talking about weird defensive alignments, Gallo faced that today with the Twins. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Schwarber strikes out, and Burke with a quick and tidy 6th inning. Last of the 6th coming, with the Rangers leading by 5.
Six, and Bruce Bochy, talking about his lineup construction, kind of the thought process going into it today, has Josh Young in that 5 hole. He said, but really 5 through 7 are going to be pretty flexible, interchangeable. Those top 4 spots will stay the same. But he really said, I have a deep desire to get guys involved and to keep them engaged. And I think you see an example of that with Bubba Thompson coming into the game in center field. He really wants to keep these guys active. He wants to keep them engaged in games, wants to keep them fresh and get them at bats and time in the field whenever he can.
Yeah, because it'll be interesting, I think, to see how the Rangers work that outfield a little bit, especially. Will they play some matchups a little bit more? That's going to be a great way to keep some of these bats engaged. In the infield, it's going to be a little bit tougher. You look at the 4 starters that the Rangers have, and that looks pretty solid. The guy that I think is the one that becomes most important in trying to keep fresh is Ezekiel Duran. It's such a good spring training. He looked really good. We saw that bat last year play, but where he will play defensively is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but there's times you're going to need him. And so trying to keep him sharp somehow, some way, I think presents the biggest challenge for Bruce Bochy.
Top of the order here against Vasquez. And this pop-up ends up foul, and it's 2-2 on Semien. Semien today 1 for 3. Every Ranger has scored. Every Ranger has reached, obviously. And the only ones without a hit at this point, Josh Young, who's walked. This one on the ground, left side of the infield. Picked by Bohm. Nice play. Throw to first. Goes wide. And Semien will stay put with the infield single.
And Marcus probably beats that anyway. It's a pretty tough play for Alec Bohm. Much has been made about his defense last year in Philadelphia, especially early on. Now, you don't see kind of the jump there, what you see from some infielders, but he makes a play on the run. But I don't think that throw would have been on time. It would have had to be absolutely perfect. But you remember that incident he had last year? He got booed pretty hard. They do that in Philadelphia. I'm not sure if you're aware. And as he was coming off the field, they caught him on camera saying, "I hate this place," or mouthing that I hate this place. But he did a nice job of owning it, being apologetic about it, and knowing that he gets held accountable by the fan base there, good or bad. And he ran with it afterwards, and I think they embraced him after a nice run into the World Series. But it was a little bit of a rough go of it early on for Alec Bohm.
One, and Seager fouls it away. Strike two. Man on to start this sixth inning. The Rangers had a 9-run fourth. Added a couple more in the fifth inning. And the 2-run homer by Brad Miller, who is homer now in back-to-back opening days. It stays 1-2. Last Ranger, in fact, the only other Ranger to ever homer on back-to-back opening days, was up in the booth earlier today. Ian Kinsler did it in 2011 and 12. It's just a little bit off the plate. 2-2 to Seager. Vasquez came on and in one pitch retired Bubba Thompson. 2 in the fifth inning. Marcus takes the lead over there at first. And this one on the ground to Stott. Second one on to first, double play. 4-6-3. Well, can't blame that one on the shift. Hard ground ball right side of the infield, and Stott positioned well. Bring up Nathaniel Lowe. He was 1 for 3 today.
Well, Lowe building on the resume, of course, great first baseman, great hitter last year, and now Texas Rangers podcaster. As part of the, what's the name of it again? Why am I drawing a blank?
Straight up Rangers.
Oh, Straight Up Rangers, thank you. With Ken and our buddy Jared. Straight Up Texas, right?
Whatever.
All right.
Straight up. I like straight up.
Now tell me. Yeah, exciting for him. I would say probably him and Brad Miller, two of the bigger personalities in that Ranger clubhouse, and so now you can hear him on that Straight Up Texas Rangers podcast.
3-0.
Because Jared's not busy enough as it is. Hardest working man in the business.
The 3-0 from Vasquez, and he loses Lowe, so he's on for a second time today, this time with 2 outs. We're checking again with Emily.
Well, Nathaniel Lowe is the longest tenured Texas Ranger, and he's wearing that thing around like a badge of honor. He's like, can you believe it? I've been here the longest out of anybody. So Nathaniel brings so much to the clubhouse as far as his personality, the way he keeps things light. He's such an encourager of his teammates, and I thought one thing I asked him that was really cool. I asked him who his role model was in baseball. You know who he said? Marcus Semien.
Dave Raymond? Oh.
No, not Dave. He said Marcus Semien. And I thought, what a cool thing to say about your teammate, you know?
Yeah, that is cool. And of course, Marcus, before he even got here, we heard so much about what he means to a clubhouse, and now we get to see it lived out. And obviously the Rangers in that clubhouse get to see it every day. What a great example he is. And it's cool because Nathaniel Lowe can talk about the good old days when he got here back in 2021 and share those old Ranger stories with the new Rangers. But they put a really good group together, and that has been part of the plan. Obviously, winning in talent, the ability to get those things done are most important, but the character part of this roster as well is really solid. We got some good dudes in that clubhouse and off of each other. We talked about it earlier with the pitchers and Nate Eovaldi and how important that is to him, and the camaraderie and the conversations that exists up and down in that Ranger clubhouse right now.
Three balls and a strike on Adolis Garcia, and that is Full count.
So listen, if I'm not going to swing at bad pitches, you got to make sure you call them balls.
Never complains, though.
No.
He just never complains. And Jeff Nelson's had a big zone all day. Garcia has 2 hits already, the 3-2, and this one is clubbed deep out to left field. Cave has room, though, and he'll make the catch. He just missed the sweet spot with that one. Garcia with a long fly ball out. Rangers come up 50 in the 6th. 7th inning is next with the Rangers up by 5. Is brought to you by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts and by your local DFW Kubota dealers. Together, we do more. Boy, what a wild one. Rangers leading by 5 as we go to the 7th inning this afternoon. 20 combined hits, 17 combined runs.
Welcome to the new baseball.
That's right. My goodness. And a new pitcher in the game for the Rangers. Jonathan Hernandez checks on in the 7th inning.
Good to have him back from the very beginning of the season last year. 29 games for Jonathan. He was very good. You can see the strikeouts, a good ERA, sub-3 there for the big right-hander. Throwing that power sinker. There it is at 98 miles an hour.
I was quizzing you earlier on how many pitches the Rangers threw last year at 100 miles per hour or harder. This one lofted out to center field. Bubba Thompson chasing it back. He'll leap, and that's just over his head. And it's going to be trouble. Realmuto heads to third. He'll stop there with a stand-up triple. That's a 3rd triple of the game for the Phillies.
Yeah, kind of amazing, and this was almost an amazing play. It felt like it was shaping up to be a pretty big play by Bubba Thompson in center field. 2-seam fastball. Realmuto gets the barrel to it, and you can see Bubba trying to time it. And he got there, just couldn't come up with it. And that would have been something, and it would have been a nice way to start this inning. But certainly not an easy play.
So Realmuto had a double earlier, a triple here in the 7th. And Hernandez fires that one in at 99 for a strike to Derek Hall.
So were you saying that Jonathan was the one who had the 2?
Jonathan threw the 2 100-mile-per-hour pitches last year.
And even though it's a power arm and you see that kind of velocity, he averaged 98. It is a 2-seam fastball, meaning it has a little bit of that sink. And so it's more of a contact pitch, and kind of the name of the game for Jonathan Hernandez is to get those ground balls. He had a really good ground ball rate at 62% last year. It's nearly 20% above league average.
And for years, I was always under the impression that sinker ballers were guys who didn't want to throw through the break, we used to say, right? If you threw too hard, you might lose that movement that was part of the effectiveness of your sinker. But nowadays, we see guys throwing 98-mile-an-hour sinkers. Hard ground ball. And on cue, Simeon is there. They get Hall, concede the run, and it's 11-7. We have a moment now to step aside for Baylor, Scott, and White.
Doc says you're good.
All right, here's Castellanos, who is 2 for 3. Phillies scored in 4 straight innings, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. They've added a run here in the 7th. They were pretty pesky there for a bit. This one on the ground foul, 0-2. It's a team that last year snuck into the postseason and then went on a run. They won 87 games last season, and their season didn't end until the final out of the World Series. 0-2, and that's just a little high. They lost to Houston. And I think that was a pretty surprising year. The managerial change. Rob Thompson took over, I want to say midway. It was actually earlier than midway. Did a heck of a job.
Yeah, 51 games. Yeah, 51 games into it. They were 7 games under 500. And there's a great story there with Rob Thompson. He was set to retire at the end of the year. Kind of figured this was the end of the run after Joe Girardi had gotten fired. He'd already thought about just kind of shutting his coaching career down. And instead he ends up leading a team to a World Series and getting a 2-year contract extension on the back end. It was something else, and he's been around the game for a long time. I was with him very briefly in 2004, his first year coaching at the big league level in New York with the Yankees, and has always been by Joe Girardi's side. So it was an awkward moment for him to kind of take over, and a guy that he has been with the entire way, who Joe Girardi gave a lot of credit to his success over the years.
That's a beauty right there. Jonathan strikes out Castellanos for the 2nd out of the inning.
That's his paint on the corner. Good 2-seam fastball comes back at 98 miles an hour. Castellanos knew it. That is a thing of beauty right there. You can't throw it any better.
It's the 11th Rangers strikeout in the ball game, and Bryson Stott now the hitter. He's punched out twice today. 1 for 3, and the pitch on the way from Hernandez. This one in the air, foul. Strike 1.
We showed you that shot of the Philadelphia Phillies dugout. You saw Bryce Harper there. He'll be out for a little while. No definitive timetable just yet, but had elbow surgery in the offseason. There's Bryce Harper. So they're thinking maybe, hopefully, end of May, into June. They don't know yet.
Ground ball right side, and an easy play for Lowe to take care of it himself. The inning is done. 7th inning stretch here at Globe Life Field. Opening day with the Rangers with a big lead. We stand, we stretch, and we God bless America with Chuck Morgan.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please rise and direct your attention down the third baseline, and welcome back the Emmy Award-winning Texas Tenors, along with Amber Dahl of Abilene, Texas, signing. The Texas Tenors will now sing "God Bless the USA."
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
'Cause this flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
7 to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Phillies in town. First of 3 left. Tomorrow off. This is a team last year, 87 wins, as we mentioned. They finished 3rd in the National League East, but then beat the Cardinals, the Braves, the Padres, and then it was Game 6 of the World Series. Houston ended up taking it 4-2. Rob Thompson, a great story, though, managing that team to the World Series. As we go to work here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Josh Young will lead it off.
And it was an interesting story, right? They get in, first of all, because we get expanded postseason.
Yep.
They're the last team in with the extra wild card. And it's like, oh, what a great story. And it was, and they had a nice run, but it was an underachieving regular season that put them there. They had much higher expectations. But to make the managerial change the way that they did and to get as far as they did, it was a pretty incredible run. We talk a lot about the calming influence. You'll hear about it with Bruce Bochy and what he's meant already to that Ranger clubhouse. That man right there, Rob Thompson, same kind of thing. Pretty steady in everything that he does.
The new pitcher in the game for the Phillies, Andrew Bellotti, fires that one in for a strike. 2-1.
Good arm from them a year ago. Really good strikeout arm. 34% strikeout rate for Bellotti.
3-1.
And when you look at kind of league averages and where that compares, 10% better. He does it with a good slider. Another one of these pitchers, we see it a lot, uses the slider more than his fastball, but it's slider, 4-seam fastball, and very occasional changeup. 61 of his 87 strikeouts came on sliders last season.
So the Young fouled away, and it's a full count. Young 0 for 2 with a walk, and he has scored a run. He's the only Rangers starter still in the lineup without a base hit yet. Josh Smith started the game. He's no longer in the game. He too left without a hit, and there's a swing and a miss, and Young strikes out, 1 away. We can slide over now for Choctaw Casinos and Resorts.
Fun, games, relaxation, or excitement. We've got all your bases covered at Choctaw Casinos and Resorts.
It'd be kind of neat. We were talking to the commissioner about the WBC and kind of pushing a little bit for us to get an opportunity to host at Globe Life Field. With the old ballpark, if you could still play baseball in it, you could have the whole thing here. And that would be amazing.
It really would be pretty awesome. There's a ground ball right side of the infield. Heim retired easily for the 2nd out of the inning. And I'm proud of you. I should have expected nothing less, but you saw the opening and you just shot right to it. I love that.
No, I had the 10% finder's fee verbal agreement.
Yeah. Don't ask, don't get. So I'll give it a shot. Seemed in pretty good spirits, didn't he?
He did. I mean, listen, that's why I asked him. I mean, you and I this is our 7th year that we've been able to do this together, and no doubt it's been the most exciting opening day. I think most optimism for the Rangers, but around the entire game. I do think that exists, and kind of wondered where that ranked for him. And I think Rob Manfred is very happy with everything that has gone on here recently. Right? We get past COVID and a shortened season. We get past unfortunate lockout and a shortened spring training. We still had a full year last year, but free and clear of all those things. And then the rule changes in the WBC, and we have all this positive momentum going in our game's favor.
One thing that I just remembered that I do wish we had a chance to ask. We got off pretty much everything we wanted. Would be the extra innings rule and where he stands on that long term, and expansion, because I feel like that's coming. The 1-1, I get it too. You can ask him about expansion, Oakland situation, Las Vegas, whatever. And the reality is, he's not going to publicly, on our broadcast, give us the behind-the-scenes scoop on that. But might have been worth asking anyway.
Well, I mean, they don't hide from the fact that they would like to get to 32.
Yeah.
And then probably go to 4 divisions in each league and get even a more balanced schedule than we have now. But Oakland needs to be kind of situated and figured out. Tampa to some degree as well. But there are some cities that are chomping at the bit Nashville, Las Vegas, the idea of baseball ever getting back to Montreal, I think we'll kind of hold that one near and dear to our hearts. There's opportunity.
Grossman couldn't stop himself. Full count. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Rangers lead by 4. The payoff pitch from Bellotti. That is low. Ball 4, and so the Rangers have another base runner.
Well, that'll give us an opportunity to get to our Baylor Scott and White Health game diagnosis. The story coming in was Jacob deGrom. Now the story is turning into the power that we've seen near the bottom of the order for the Rangers. It was Robbie Grossman in the 4th inning with a 3-run home run, and then it was Brad Miller going to the opposite field, joining that party, driving in a couple of his own. You mentioned it earlier, back-to-back seasons now for Brad Miller, hitting a home run on opening day. That was where 5 of the Rangers' 11 runs came from so far here this afternoon.
Checks his swing up there and fouls off strike 1 from Bellotti. DHing today, and for Brad, that might be where we see him most often this year. An experienced guy who can come off the bench and pinch hit. He did a nice job of that last year. He was an excellent pinch hitter. Count quickly 0-2, and he always has that threat of power. 2 outs. Grossman, the runner at first. Small lead over there. And Bellotti will throw over. Now that's 1 disengagement for Bellotti. He can throw over 1 more time, right?
CB Buckner kind of putting the count out there, 1 on each side, and they mark those, keep track of them. And like you said, you can do it twice. You can do it a 3rd time. You just have to pick the runner off. And if you don't pick him off, then that runner is awarded the next base.
He's leaning a little bit. I don't think he's going anywhere. Bellotti, though, with a long hold. The 0-2. Miller couldn't stop himself. That strikeout ends the inning. Rangers leave a man. 8th inning coming up here at Globe Life Field, where the Rangers lead 11-7. Happy that they're on the positive end of that equation right now. 11-7 our score. Time now for our Sage pitching decisions. And we look ahead to the starters for Saturday. Zach Wheeler for Philadelphia and Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers. Eovaldi, a huge addition to this staff in the offseason as well. A lot of excitement today with Jacob deGrom, and justifiably so. But Eovaldi is the last of the group to be added. It was a couple of days after Christmas. And it was a little bit surprising to him even, because Alex Bohm takes in the dirt, 1-1. We check in with Emily.
Well, Nathan Eovaldi got a chance to meet President George W. Bush today in the dugout, the two of them having some conversation, and I walked up to say hello to the president, and he said, hey, did you know this guy's from Alvin? And I said, of course I know he's from Alvin. I said, they produced some pretty good pitchers there in Little Alvin, Texas. And he said, yeah, I know. I just want to make sure you knew that. And I said, I did know that, Mr. President. Thank you very much. But looked like Nathan was, pretty content with being able to chat with W in the dugout before the game.
Yeah, congratulations on your new research assistant.
Oh, really?
Keep it here for the latest George W. Bush tidbits.
Well, there's a swinging strikeout of Alec Bohm, finally retired today. He had started the day 3 for 3, and he was a triple shy of the cycle.
A couple of strikeouts in this outing so far for Jonathan Hernandez, and it has to do with that fastball away. Second strikeout and second time we've seen him paint the slider. Now the first one was looking. You can see Bohm trying to swing at it, but not much of a swing against a 98-mile-an-hour two-seamer.
Jonathan working to Jake Cave now, who is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. It's off the plate, 2-0. 12 Rangers strikeouts to 1 walk so far, so the pitching staff has done a good job of going right after these Phillies hitters. And Cave lifts this one deep to center field. Thompson back near the wall. He'll reach and make the catch right at the fence and takes away a home run from Jake Cave.
That's a beauty from Bubba Thompson. He had a chance at a really great play earlier. This one, the timing is perfect. The lower walls here, especially right in front of the bullpens, give you this opportunity. And he was there and he was up, and that definitely would have been gone. Bubba Thompson coming in as a pinch hitter, and then of course we know the great defense and speed that you're going to get, and he shows it off here on opening day.
So with 2 gone, Brandon Marsh takes ball 1. There you go, Bubba. First opening day for Bubba Thompson. That's a pretty special way to celebrate it. Ground ball, first base, low to the bag himself. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning with the Rangers leading 11-7. On Bally Sports is brought to you by Baylor Scott & White Health, changing healthcare for the better, and by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Boy, star-studded day here at Globe Life Field. 11-7, Rangers lead. Bottom of the 8th inning. And Bubba Thompson just made a really nice play in center field. We'll lead things off here. Bubba pinch hit in the 5th inning and popped out on the first pitch he saw. And goes after that one, 1-1. Strom to the plate, and the corner still open for business. Not much has changed there. Strom, the latest pitcher for the Phillies. In fact, he's the 6th pitcher of the afternoon.
And he is a guy that has been a reliever and expected to be a reliever. Obviously, he's coming out of the bullpen here, but he's also listed as a starter and likely will be their 5th starter, at least for a little while. Ranger Suarez starts the season on the IL. They have a top prospect in Andrew Painter, who had a chance to make the team. He ended up getting hurt. Just 19 years old, had a legitimate chance to make this squad.
Bubba pops this one up near second base, and Stott takes care of it. One away. Let's check in again with Emily.
Well, as is the case in most bullpens to start a season, the roles kind of fluctuate. You're not exactly sure who you're going to use where, but Bruce Bochy did say if it were a save situation, he would go to Jose Leclerc here in the opener. Obviously, that is not the case as of right now, but looks like that's still the plan, to use Jose at least to start in that late inning role.
Yeah, obviously the way the score looks right now wouldn't be a save situation. I don't think the Rangers are in that situation where they are going to say, well, 3 runs or less, save, this guy will pitch. I think it's about closing out games and playing matchups and probably not having roles that are too definitive. And we know who the late inning guys will be, and the biggest arms and the priority arms in that bullpen. But it may look a little bit different. Bruce Bochy, of course, is known for his great usage of relievers and the great bullpens that he had in San Francisco. So whether it was 11-10 or even 11-5, I think Jose Leclerc was very likely throwing the 9th inning.
I think for the most part trying to keep this as simple as possible. You know, when you have, we talk about this from time to time, guys who are closers coming in a non-save spot, sometimes they lack a certain level of focus or intensity, whatever the case. And it's just, that's not what we're talking about here today. You just wouldn't anticipate something like that. You want Leclerc to come in, just get those final 3 outs. Foul away, 3-1.
How about Marcus Semien letting it fly in a 3-0 count? We've seen that trend change quite a bit over the years, especially these last few. Might be the best pitch that you get to hit in an at-bat. And you saw Bruce Bochy there kind of giving the hit sign. And Marcus was looking in right before that 3-0 count.
Well, nobody on. He has 2 hits today, the 3-1 to Semien, and he'll pull it foul. It's a full count. He had a base hit in the 8th inning and an infield hit in the 6th. Well, the start last year for Marcus was just such an albatross for him. 3-2, and he swings through it. Strike 3. A strikeout for Strom is the 2nd out of the inning. And here comes Corey Seager. Speaking of which, Sunday, by the way, first 15,000 fans are going to get a Corey Seager powder blue replica jersey presented by Medical City Healthcare. You can get your tickets now at Rangers.com. That's a cool one right there. First pitch to Seager. It goes right after strike 1. We started the game with the roof open. It started to sprinkle. There was rain in the forecast, so they closed the roof after the 3rd inning, and that one is down low, 1-1. So the top of the 4th inning, most of that half inning, DeGrom had come back out to pitch, and while he was pitching, the roof was closing. The first half inning, for which the roof was totally closed today, was the bottom of the 4th inning. That's the inning in which the Rangers scored 9 runs. No doubt nothing more than coincidence, but kind of wild the way that played out. The 2-1 and a swing and a miss. 2-2. Seager's been on 3 times today. A couple of walks, a base hit. He has scored twice. Strom's 2-2. A little tapper back to the mound. Leap up and make the catch. Throw over to first to get Seager. And the inning is done. So the 9th inning on the way. Nearby Fort Worth. Cloudy over there as well. 11-7. And America's pastime is back. The Rally has you covered on all the action across opening day. Watch it tonight after the postgame. So 9th inning here. Not a safe spot for Jose Leclerc. 11-7 Rangers leading. And Leclerc will get the top of the order here. Very soothing music bringing him into the game.
I'm relaxed.
That's unusual.
Yeah, he's got to be relaxed, and perhaps he put the Philadelphia Phillies top of the lineup to sleep as well.
I mean, it's opening day. You got a full house, and it's like, ay, ay, ay.
Sounds like something Bamboo Brad would listen to.
I mean, really.
A good year for Jose last year. It was good to see him back in those 39 games. 2.83 ERA. You get the fastball that averages 97 to go along with the slider, changeup, and that cutter that he added last year was very effective. The cutter, just a 182 batting average against.
His first pitch, fastball at 95 miles an hour popped up, playable for Simeon, and 1 pitch, 1 out in the 9th.
So you and I were kind of joking a little bit. We get the pitch clock. We saw a lot of quick games. We had a sub 2-hour game in spring training, and we're saying, well, you know, kind of making some jokes. It's 11-7. There's been a lot of hits. There's been a lot of pitching changes. There's a very tiny outside chance that this game could finish under 3 hours.
I don't even know how tiny that is, really. I mean,
we got what, 3 minutes to make it happen? 4 minutes, maybe. But the fact that we're even in that range.
This is a 4-hour game a year ago.
I agree.
Schwarber 0 for 4, and that'll even the count at a ball and a strike on the Phillies' big DH. Kyle Schwarber, one of 5 left-handed hitters they had in the lineup today against Jacob deGrom. They did not hit deGrom real hard, but they found the right spots, and Schwarber apparently not a fan of that last call.
That was a good call. I think compared to what we've seen today, it's a good changeup on the corner. Maybe an inch off, but that has been consistent. And then some all afternoon.
Hey, the pitch clock just started at 15 seconds right there. What happened? 1-2. And this one popped up again, right side of the infield. And Simeon, the ball hog, takes it 2 away.
I mean, are you feeling it right now? Are we going to get this game in under 3 hours? 18 runs across the board, 21 hits.
Yeah.
How many pitchers are we here into now? 6 for the Phillies, 5 for the Rangers. It's fantastic.
Well, the fans up, a sellout crowd, 38,387. JT Realmuto, and he'll take outside, ball 1. Clerk's 1-0. Fastball misses. Leclerc just got better and better last year as his opportunities added. Came back from injury and really finished the year strong. 2-0 pitch. There's a swing, and that one lofted softly out to left field. Drops in for a hit. Grossman never had a chance. Phillies have a base runner. And your dreams may be dashed.
Now, the other thing here, that when neither starter goes 5 innings, then it's up to the scorer's discretion. Cole Reagans was in the game, finished off the inning when the Rangers were down. They then took the lead, only pitched a third of an inning, but could be in line for his first major league win. Well, he didn't have one last year, right?
Runner goes, and the first pitch just off the plate to Hall for ball 1.
He was 0-3 last year in those 9 starts that he made. Now, obviously, there's been guys that have given multiple innings coming out of the bullpen, assuming the Rangers hold on. We might see it.
1-1. Brock Burke was telling me a story today in the clubhouse that he had a couple of seasons where he'd pitched a number of times in certain situations in games, could never get a win. And then last year, in his first game, he got a win in a very similar kind of a spot. He's like, oh man, I didn't even pitch well. I just happened to be the guy, and we got this cheesy win. He's like, but I'll take it. And so maybe Reagans will have a similar story to tell.
He had 12 decisions last year. He was 7-5. Yeah. No saves yet. I have a feeling he'll get one this year.
2-1. That's inside. Realmuto had taken second a pitch earlier, and it was indifference. Rangers conceded him the base. 3-1, and that one in the air, foul, and the Phillies are down to their final strike.
Well, we jinxed it. We're at 3:01.
That's on you.
I'll take it.
All right, those kids won it. Rangers trying to start the year 1-0. The 3-2. We'll do it again. Leclerc ready. The payoff pitch, and that is downstairs. Ball 4. A 2-out walk. So the base hit, the walk. Phillies have a couple of base runners. Castellanos will be the batter.
I talked about this earlier in the game. You get those 2 quick outs, and then you want the focus to come up and seal the deal with the base hit. But now the 2-out walk here in the middle of this lineup. You got a dangerous hitter, Nick Castellanos. Still a little bit of breathing room. But Jose Leclerc does not want it to go any further than this.
And he gets Castellanos to chase strike 1. He has struck out twice today. Each time he strikes out, he unbuttons that uniform 1 more button. He also has 2 hits today. And it's 0-2.
Back-to-back Slambios there, and he did not look comfortable swinging at either one of them. And he takes his time out right here. And when a hitter takes his time out, there's no set amount of time. Now he just took a few seconds and got back in there. and then you'll see the pitch clock restart for those 20 seconds.
Phillies again down to their final strike. Remuto at second, Hall at first. And Leclerc with a long hold, the 0-2. That's up and out.
Yeah, a little show-me fastball there at 94 miles an hour. The first two pitches were that slider, the Slambio combination slider changeup. I'm feeling Jose's going back to that, although we just saw a couple of shakes. They're getting ahead of the hitter a little bit.
Rangers swept the Phillies last year in the season series. The 1-2 off the plate. They've won 9 in a row against Philadelphia. Now, interleague play, you're not playing teams every single year. At least you weren't. You will going forward. The last time the Phillies beat the Rangers was in 2014. Here comes Leclerc's 2-2. And he held up. Wow, I thought he went. Okay. They appealed it. C.B. Buckner said, no, I don't know.
That's close. Now Jose's got to be careful here too, as you remember the pitch clock is not going to stop, as he kind of stepped off and seemed a little frustrated by it.
The payoff. Got him swinging. And the Rangers take the opener. 11-7. Bruce Bochy wins his Rangers debut. And they're off to a 1-0 start.
Now what a finish. Jose Leclerc coming back again in a big count, 3-2. And he throws that Slambio. You can see the grip right there. And as it goes away from Nick Castellanos, another ugly swing at that pitch. What a day here it was for the Rangers. So much optimism coming into today. Jacob deGrom on the mound didn't go exactly the way that he had hoped. The offense bails him out. And one of the new guys, Robbie Grossman, with a big day at the plate. We also saw, don't forget about Bubba Thompson robbing that home run. That was a good day all the way around for the Rangers.
Tim Myers told me before the game that he thought maybe the offense underrated coming in. Well, they carried the mail today. 11-7. Our final score here on opening day for C.J. Nitkowski and Emily Jones. I'm Dave Raymond. Thanks for being with us. Keep it right here. More Rangers coverage continuing right after this.